Always trust everyone to be themselves, but trust in the fact that you can see them well. You know what I mean? So it's like, trust. It takes too much energy to not trust someone. You know what I mean? It takes too much energy. You always gotta stay 2 steps ahead of them or whatever. Right. But trust them to be them.
Right. To be themselves.
Trust the snake to bite you. Right. Trust the lion to laugh. Trust the thief to steal from you. Like, trust them to be them. Too. But know them when you see them.
Get your copy of Fire. It's definitely a must-read. If you enjoy hood books, this one is it. Just like the title of the book, it's officially fire. Get it on Amazon, paperback or Kindle.
Let's go.
Peace. This is the enemy's public. I am Bro.Nasir. Salute. Peace to my brother Hawkeye. Thanks for tapping in. This evening, we're going to go over the Tyrants, Incompetence, and Abuse of Power. Greetings. Salute to my sister, the true daughter of darkness. Thanks for tapping in, family. I appreciate it. Now, of course, these type of stories and streams, they sort of create themselves because of the atmosphere that we're in as far as police corruption, police misuse of power, the incompetence of the police. And again, these streams, they create themselves. But before I get started, I want to, allow people to come in. So I'm going to share my screen and play a beat or two while people come in. And then we're going to get to the subject matter. I'll play this one more beat, and then I'm going to get right into it.
Looks like I swiped just about all the jewels from this treasure room. Now let's see what's behind this door.
Yes, we're speaking about the tyrants, incompetence, and abuse of power. Sort of a spin-off from Corrupt to the Core, because the dynamic hasn't changed. From coast to coast, police are still corrupt to the core. And I don't see it changing in the foreseeing future. But all we could do is get some awareness to those who are not aware, and hold the rogue police accountable. We have to hold them accountable. Now, of course, there's plenty of videos that we could show where police are not acting other than what they supposedly have been trained to act and do things against, their so-called policies, because they care nothing, absolutely nothing about the law. They look and they thumb their nose at the camera that's pointed at them when they break the law, violating somebody's rights. Now, whenever you see a cop pulled over and he see a brother changing his tire, and they ask the brother, what is he doing? That's a rhetorical question, because they know what the brother is doing. And then start asking for ID. And then if you don't comply, it's all about them getting you to do something, regardless of what it is. They want you to do something that they say. You can stand there 20 minutes with your cameras pointing at them. As soon as they walk up to you, they'll say, take your hand out your pocket. When you had your hand in your pocket for 20 minutes, and they expect you to take your hand out your pocket because they want you to do something, obey them, some kind of form and fashion. They want you to obey them. And I don't have that video today because I played it before. The old hick police officer female who tased the brother repeatedly. But the thing is, the brother was armed. He was armed legally, and the police tased him when he was complying. I'm not an advocate of violence until you touch me. I'm very nonviolent until you touch me. And when that cop tased him, he had a right to shoot her. What bothers me is he probably would have pulled that gun on somebody who looked like him, but he had incredible restraint when it came to her. Like he valued her more than he valued himself. And to me, that's problematic. He should, I'm telling all the brothers and sisters, value your life, because the first law of nature is self-preservation. So when somebody come to you and you know it's about to go down and you know they're trying to do harm to you, protect yourself, and it's nobody excluded from protecting yourself. Because if that was me, I would have shot her and just dealt with what comes with it. My brother's was recording the whole damn thing. She tased that brother for nothing and then called him a bitch and treated him like one. But I would have dropped her ass straight up. But we got, a video of a security guard shot to death by off-duty security guard because the young brother was taking back a BB gun. Like down in Georgia, they got those daisies. My brother and I, we had them all our life growing up. We go to Georgia, we came back with a daisy, whether it was a long gun and a short gun. My father always bought us those daisy BB guns when we was growing up. He went to take it back because some functionality, and some overzealous security guard thought they was robbing the place, and they told him that it was a BB gun. They was returning it, and he shot the little brother anyway, killing him. And this is the video of that incident.
An off-duty security guard who shot and killed a Breton teenager told investigators that he thought he was stopping a robbery. New court documents reveal a different story tonight. King 5 Sebastian Robertson joining us live now with what we're learning about this shooting. Sebastian.
Hi, Joyce. That deadly confrontation happened outside this Big 5 in Renton. What we see in court documents is two different sides to the same story. These are the moments after a 17-year-old boy was shot and killed outside a Renton Big 5. The suspected shooter, a 51-year-old man, remains in custody and will likely face a murder charge.
I mean, it's justice, because that's disappointing, because he was just a kid too, right? He was only 17.
Court documents say the alleged shooter, an off-duty and armed security guard, told investigators he saw a pistol and believed the teens were going to commit an armed robbery. Says that when he pulled out his weapon, one of the teens reached for his waistband.
The 51-year-old produced a weapon and he shot and killed one of the 17-year-olds.
We just started hearing like shouting, and then after the shouting, you just heard gunfire. It was crazy.
Investigators in those same documents say surveillance footage obtained by investigators contradicts the statements made by the alleged shooter during the interview. They say it shows the teens tossing the airsoft pistols to the ground and telling the suspect numerous times that the pistol was not real. Teens telling investigators they were going to the sporting goods store to return the pistol.
This man knew that, and he murdered that young brother. He wanted to kill them. He was off duty, probably a wannabe cop. He's above the age to become one, probably always wanted to be one, and that was the closest that he could get to being one. And when he got the opportunity, he killed a child.
And Joyce, the suspect, that 51-year-old off-duty armed security guard, is in the King County Jail tonight. He's held on $2 million bail.
This is such a tragic story, Sebastian. There was a pretty large police response almost immediately, wasn't there?
Yeah, the King County Sheriff's Department says that just by complete chance, deputies were actually doing some sort of training exercise. Some deputies were in the very parking lot and were on scene moments later and were able to take the suspected shooter into custody and immediately start working the crime scene. Joyce.
Sebastian Robertson reporting in Renton.
Now we're going to go to a video of Chicago police shooting an unarmed 13-year-old. This is what goes on.
They were the final moments of a foot chase. Body camera videos obtained exclusively by CNN show how it ended with the Chicago police officer shooting an unarmed 13-year-old who was running from a stolen vehicle and who lawyers and some witnesses say had his hands up. The 13-year-old's attorneys say the teen was trying to surrender. The officer's attorney says in a split-second decision, he thought the teen's cell phone was a gun.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Greetings, respect to my sister, the true daughter of darkness, Lady Shea Butter, my brother Bronze Flat Power God, and Hawkeye. Thanks for tapping in, family.
Damn it.
That was the reaction of the officer next to the shooting officer after shots were fired.
Is anyone hit? He's hit? Get an ambulance.
Shortly after,
Who went to punch?
two officers grabbed the 13-year-old who had just been shot by his sweatshirt and legs and carried him away from the gas pump where he was laying.
They drag him with no regard for this young man, pull him like a rag doll away from the pump to another area after he had already sustained a major injury to his back.
They're supposed to value the sanctity of human life.
Mistaking a cell phone for a firearm is very incompetent. That's what they said anyway. A lot of these cops don't like their job and they don't like working around our people. So that's why I always say, if police officers work in our community, they should live there. They shouldn't drive 15, 20 miles away to go home. They should live where they patrol. And they should be from where they patrol so they can be a genuine concern for the people in that community where they're patrolling. A lot of these cops, they won't just quit. They won't just quit. They'll do something outlandish, like physically abuse somebody or kill somebody before they leave the department, and they're hopeful that they'll shoot this person and just get fired. That's what they do. They'll just do something crazy before they leave, not just quit.
Human life. There was no value here.
Officers believe they likely struck those gas pumps.
Chicago police later said they were concerned a gas tank might have been hit by gunfire and could explode. The shooting officer, Noah Ball, didn't have his body camera activated.
Especially being in what municipality this is in. Chicago, they're known for just shooting young people. Like Laquan McDonald, that cop shot him, and when he went down, unloaded the clip in him after he fell. They're known for doing this in Chicago.
Did until roughly 40 seconds after the shooting, as he asks another officer if his is on.
Is your camera on? Yeah, okay, good.
Ball's camera being off was inadvertent, his attorney told CNN, but inexcusable, the teen's attorneys say.
So the suggestion that, hey, maybe this was just a temporary absent-mindedness because he was involved in a pursuit, they know that they're supposed to engage their cameras, and it's up to them to do it.
The 13-year-old was a passenger in a suspected stolen car when officers tried to stop it. Police say he jumped out and started running. Then, right as he turns and appears to raise his hands, he's shot at least once, leaving him now paralyzed from the waist down, his attorneys say. And for you all, at least.
The young brother turned and put his hands up, surrendering, and they shot him. This is not just incompetence. It's that, but it's not just incompetence. Some of these cops, if they go their entire career without shooting somebody or getting a kill, they feel that they failed, especially the Caucasian ones. But I'm going to say this because I got a video down the line on this playlist. We cannot distinguish none of these cops from each other. None of them. Black or white. They are all the same. They'll slam you down to the street top. Black police showing out for the white cop. Ice Cube was right when he said that, because some of them, they get around their constituents and they'll try to show off, act like they hood, because some of these, these punks who look like us, who become cops, they want to show their constituents that they hard and they from the hood and they know the streets, when they're not even from my neighborhood either.
At least it's clear that his hands are up.
His hands are up. There was no justification for the officer to shoot.
And he was unarmed.
Clearly unarmed.
And at least some bystanders on the scene appear to agree. One witness who didn't want to be identified said,
his hands was up, and I seen the cop run right up to that boy. It's just started shooting.
But the attorney for the shooting officer is looking less at where the hands were and more what he says his client thought was in them. Attorney Timothy Grace wrote to CNN in part,
defense attorneys who defend police officers are absolute scumbags. The bottom of a down barrel, because they could see a tape of a cop murdering somebody and they'll defend that and try to make an excuse for their cop killing somebody.
Officer Ball reasonably believed the object being pointed at him was a firearm. It ended up being a cell phone, but Officer Ball had to make a split-second decision as he had no cover and no concealment. He discharged his service weapon to stop the threat. The teen's attorneys are...
What threat? It's a stolen car. A young teen got out, looked like a teen, and was running away from you. A threat is coming to you, not running away from you. So what threat is this scumbag-ass defense attorney talking about?
To argue he was trying to surrender and that the pursuit shouldn't have happened in the first place.
There's been no charges against him. He was in a stolen vehicle and he ran away. He ran away. And does that warrant being shot in the back and paralyzed from the waist?
No, it's not.
If all you need is to have someone flee from the police to justify a shooting, we got real problems in this city and in this country.
Now, Don, the teen's attorneys dispute there was ever anything in his hands at all and argue there's no definitive video to prove it. They, along with the family, have now filed a federal lawsuit against the Chicago Police Department, in part to account for the teen's life that has now been altered forever because of these injuries. The Chicago Police Department couldn't comment on this shooting because it's still under investigation by the Civilian Office of Police Accountability, but they did confirm this officer was stripped of his police powers at least 2 days after this shooting, pending the outcome of that investigation.
It happens in Chicago a lot, and it happens all over this nation a lot. Police are trigger happy.
An unarmed 14-year-old suspected of breaking a window gets shot by police. The officer who fired later blamed the shooting on a mix-up, saying he used the wrong gun. CBS 2 investigator Dave Savini obtained the body camera video and reveals what went wrong.
How are you? Somebody called and complained about you guys. You guys were involved in something damaging somebody's windows.
It's 8:50 in the morning. Quiet South suburban Sauk Village when these two kids, a boy and a girl, both 14, are stopped by police.
What? Okay, you guys got your IDs on you?
Officer Seth Brown starts questioning the 8th graders about a broken window in the neighborhood.
Do me a favor, keep your hands out of your pockets, bro. Just keep your hands out of your pockets. You're coming out here to see friends?
Now, this cop is asking 8th graders for their ID. What 8th grader has an ID besides like a school ID? And they always see our children as adults. That's why Tamir Rice was shot. Tamir Rice was described as a child, and they also said the gun was fake. But the cop still jumped out of the vehicle and shot the little brother dead. As soon as he jumped out, just shot him dead when dispatch told him it was a child and the gun was fake. Still killed the child. Now, these children said they're out there to see friends, and he's asking them for ID. Now, this is incompetent, and this is done deliberately.
Okay.
Police body cameras are rolling. What happened? And also show Sergeant Scott Langan talking to a woman in the street who suspects the teens damaged a window on her home the day before.
That's the boy that did it.
So, why would one of us, knowing the atmosphere and knowing what can potentially happen, first call the cops, and plus 2, put the little brother in that type of danger? Now, the neighborly thing to do is find out where this little brother live at and go see his parents and work it out amongst each other. We need to get back to that, working our problems out amongst each other instead of getting these wicked ass people involved who want to kill both of us.
I got a picture of him.
Who are they? Do you know who they are?
They know my nephew.
Sergeant Langan then approaches the teens who are still being questioned by Officer Brown.
Full name and date of birth, okay? I'm not going to play with you two. Do you understand me? Okay, well, I'm going to tell you.
But the situation quickly escalates.
Here we go, escalating it, trying to bully the young people. The same thing they do to, the adults. Now, these kids didn't have to even interact with these cops. First, the parents should have been notified. These are 8th graders, juveniles. But they don't care. They don't care. I've seen them put cuffs on 6-year-old little girls and boys. They don't care.
Escalates.
Why are you touching me?
Put your hands on your back. Put your hands behind your back.
Why are you touching me?
Because you're under arrest.
For what?
CDP. Arrested for CDP. What exactly is CDP? The boy's lawyers say the 8th grader definitely didn't know. It's an acronym for criminal damage to property.
I'm going to tell you something, dude.
His friend then starts recording it all with her phone.
Listen.
Or it'll be another charge.
You understand me?
It'll be another charge, man. Then listen to the conflicting messages from the different officers. One saying, you'll be let go. The other, you'll be tased. Right now, it's just her word against your word. If you want to make it another charge,
I'm going to tase you.
You're going to get charged and let go. But then Officer Brown stays true to his word and uses his taser on the 8th grader, who starts screaming in pain.
They use the taser on what's known as a pain setting. The only purpose of using the pain setting is to cause maximum pain to the individual.
Attorneys Gabe Hardy.
Tasing a 8th grader. And they probably feel like big shots for doing it.
And Al Hofeld Jr. filed a lawsuit against the Sauk Village Police Department for the teen we are not naming. But it didn't end with the taser. Here's what happened next.
Put your hands behind your back, man.
While being shocked by the taser, the teen runs. Then watch as Sergeant Langan pulls his duty weapon from his holster on his right side, a .40 caliber Glock. He aims it and fired. Here's another view. The bullet rips through the teen's hip.
Now, he tried to blame it on a weapon mix-up. But how could you blame it on a weapon mix-up when you deployed your taser? And not only that, even if you didn't deploy your taser, a taser is positioned in a cross-draw position. That means you got to cross your waist and draw that. And your service is on the side of you. So there's no way, like Kim Potter said, you know, when she went to jail for shooting a young brother, you cannot mistake a taser for a gun. First, a taser has a bright color. They make sure they have a bright color so you can distinguish the two, and they draw a cross-draw position. So that weapon mix-up, that's not going to fly. And plus, it's on camera. They don't even care about it being on camera.
These photos were taken at the hospital. Should a handgun have ever been pulled out and fired?
Hell no.
Absolutely not. It was
not even a taser.
Excessive, completely unnecessary. There was no justification whatsoever for this officer immediately.
Salute to my brother, Talk Your Talk Media, Greedy Vegan. Now, grown men escalating a situation with children. This what this is. And this child is in the hospital and he's blaming it on a weapon mix-up. Now, I always say that. I wouldn't want to hear shit. You can't explain that to me. Where is he at? He'll have to see me.
Drawing his firearm and shooting this 14-year-old kid.
The teen, now bleeding, runs from the officers.
Dude.
Sergeant Langan catches up and this time pulls out his taser as the teen jumps a fence.
Go around the block. He ran around the block.
What was this 14-year-old thinking while
he was thinking that the police were trying to kill him, and he probably didn't feel the pain from adrenaline. But I guarantee once he stopped, he knew he was hit, and he probably started feeling pain. Shot in the hip too?
he was shot and hiding in a yard somewhere?
He was afraid they were coming after him. He was afraid they were going to shoot him again.
They shot him once for no reason. Why would they not shoot him again?
Exactly.
Why did Sergeant Langan shoot? 2 weeks after this march of 20.
And this is a sergeant. A supervisor. This is a supervisor. A sergeant who's probably was an FTO training somebody. So if your FTO is a numbskull, he's going to train you to be one. He's a supervisor.
2022 incident, Langan was questioned by state police and Cook County prosecutors. In this report obtained by the CBS 2 investigators, he claimed the shooting was an accident. He said he thought he grabbed his taser and didn't realize he grabbed his gun, and stated, "I'm completely sorry. I feel like I let everyone down. I have nothing else to say."
Do you think he should have known that he had a handgun?
Yes.
He certainly should have known they had a handgun in his hand. He pulled the weapon from the holster that holds his handgun.
Exactly.
Keep in mind, the handgun.
Look at the
taser,
difference.
The Glock is nearly 5 times the weight of the taser.
Reckless?
Beyond reckless. And that is complete disregard and recklessness by you, the officer, not only endangering the individual that you are firing at, but the public in general.
Where he had kept his gun and his taser mattered. Take a look at this photo showing the sergeant's vest. It shows where he carried his taser. Then look at Officer Brown's gear. He had a separate holster on the other side of his body for his taser. There was a life-saving reason for this.
In a cross draw position, but the sergeant who shot the child, his taser was on his vest. So there's no way it could be a weapon mix-up.
A year earlier in Minnesota, an officer grabbed her gun instead.
That's Kim Potter. That's the incident that I was talking about. Kim Potter said she thought she was grabbing her taser when she shot this young brother and killed him over a traffic stop, which is crazy. Why are guns being pulled during a traffic stop?
Instead of her taser, and killed Dante Wright during a traffic stop. To make sure this type of incident didn't happen in Sauk Village, the police chief required officers to move their tasers to the opposite side of their body from their handgun, said Langan in his statement. But Langan just kept his taser Velcro to the front pouch of his vest.
When that officer made the decision to pull that handgun out of the holster,
yes,
he was pulling it from a side of his body where the taser was never supposed to be.
Correct.
Exactly.
And when he extends it out in front of him, it's within his range of vision. It's
exactly. You can see
in
that's
fact, it's within
that's
his
not
direct line of sight.
a taser.
So he sees the weapon before he pulls the trigger.
There seems to be other taser-related issues too. Sergeant Langan said the department gave him taser training only 2 or 3 times in the 10 years he carried one. But this department policy says at a minimum, officers should be trained every year.
Hey, what's going on, man?
The man with his hands up is the boy's guardian. He showed up on the scene after the injured teen, who was still hiding, called him to tell him he'd been shot by police.
The ambulance is coming up to check him out, okay? All right.
As paramedics arrived, the guardian begins asking police more questions.
He said you shot him. You shot him for no reason.
No,
the girl said she got it on tape.
No, everything's on body camera, okay? Like the whole incident is okay.
Even the emergency medical technician started asking questions.
They trying to say that one of y'all shot him or something.
All right.
Then the teen's handcuff is removed.
Hey, let me take that handcuff off.
And then he was transported to the hospital and treated for his gunshot wound. The broken window was never brought up again.
Do they ever arrest this 14-year-old?
They never arrest him. They never charge him. They never cite him.
Dude.
It's like it never happened?
It's like it never happened. And it looks and feels like contrition. Because they know, because they shot him.
They fucked up.
Justifiably.
It's now been a year and a half since the shooting, and the police department has yet to even start the disciplinary process. Last month, the Cook County State's Attorney's Office decided not to charge Sergeant Langan. The Sauk Village police chief says he was waiting on that decision before taking any action. Dave Savini, CBS 2 Investigators.
Now, a Kroger security guard was indicted for killing the man over loud music. We can't even play our music.
Update on the news at 4 today. Indicted on first-degree murder. A Shelby County grand jury returned the indictment for former security guard Gregory Livingston. Surveillance video shows him shooting and killing a Chicago man and over loud music at an East Memphis Kroger gas station over the summer. Thanks for joining us. I'm Alex Coleman. April will join us shortly. Livingston initially faced a second-degree murder charge in the death, but WREG Shay Arthur shows us why the charge was upgraded.
I think the grand jury has gotten it right.
NAACP Memphis branch president Van Turner reacts to the first-degree murder indictment of former Kroger security guard Gregory Livingston. Surveillance video shows the moments Livingston shot and killed an unarmed Alvin Motley at an East Memphis Kroger gas station. The two were arguing over Motley's music. The shooting gained national attention. Initially, investigators charged Livingston, also a former Horn Lake police officer, with second-degree murder. The district attorney's office in Nashville is handling the case. The Shelby County District Attorney's Office recused itself after an investigator in the office was found to possibly be a witness in Motley's prosecution. A spokesperson out of the Nashville office told us the murder charge changed after gathering additional evidence, including a review of the surveillance video. The state decided to present the charge of first-degree murder to the grand jury instead of the...
Yes, this is first-degree murder because he actually premeditated this. Now, there's no way a man should be shot or even confronted about his music. You are a security guard in the store. You're supposed to be worried about what's going on in the store, and you're outside pointing your weapon at somebody. Telling you, when these guys get guns, they get chest out, and they can't wait to pull it and use it on somebody.
Instead of the lesser charge of second-degree murder. Turner is also an attorney.
We were always taught murder too is a crime of passion, and you didn't go to a place expecting to murder someone, but because of circumstances, things happen, and it was sort of like a knee-jerk thing. In this instance, I think there was plenty enough time for the security officer Livingston to walk away. He had been trained as an officer. He had been trained on de-escalating situations.
Looking ahead,
It's up to the state to, push the case forward, and of course, it has to go to the real jury that will hopefully convict Mr.
This happens
Livingston.
all over the
Shay
nation.
Arthur, WREG, News Channel 3.
Happens all
Right now,
over
it's
the
unclear
nation.
when Livingston will be in court again. His bond is set at $1.8 million.
Now, this happened in Tennessee. Now we're gonna go to San Antonio, going to Texas now. Happening all over the United States.
In the meantime, we move on to the other news this Monday night into a horrific scene in San Antonio. Tonight, a rookie police officer has been fired after opening fire on an unarmed teenager who was eating a burger in his car at a McDonald's. That teen is now fighting for his life after being shot multiple times. The police body cam video showing the officer approaching the car, opening
fire. The young man sitting in his car eating a burger.
The door, and then opening fire on the teen as that teenager moved backwards a little. Tonight, the officer off the force, and the police union says it will not defend him. Here's ABC's John Quinones now.
I mean,
tonight, officials in San Antonio are investigating the
they shouldn't defend him, but I wonder. They shouldn't defend him, but I wonder if they would have the same sentiment if the young man who was shot was one of us. Now, they shouldn't defend him, and it's wrong for killing this young man. I don't care what his ethnicity is. He was just sitting there minding his business, eating, and he didn't deserve to be shot or even bothered while he was eating his sandwich.
after he shot an unarmed 17-year-old who was sitting in a car outside a fast food restaurant.
He had no weapon. He had a burger in his hand, you know.
According to authorities, on October 2nd, rookie officer James Brennan was responding to a call at a McDonald's when he turned his attention to a different incident.
I got a vehicle over here that fled from me the other day.
Police say the officer believed the maroon car in the parking lot had fled from him during an attempted stop the night before, but the vehicle was not related to that encounter. Eric Cantu and a female passenger found sitting inside.
Get out of the car.
Body camera video capturing the officer as he opens the door without any warning. Brennan reporting that he was then hit by the open door as Cantu reversed. He opens fire, shooting at the car multiple times as it drove away.
Shots fired! Shots fired! Shots fired!
Cantu found with multiple gunshot wounds and then placed under arrest for evasion and aggravated assault. The female passenger uninjured. Officer Brennan was later fired by the San Antonio Police Department for violation of departmental tactics, training, and procedures.
Some of those shots.
They should beat him up too for misrepresenting the police department. They should all get beaten when they misrepresent what their departmental policy are and they violate people's rights. They should get a beating for that.
Shots were fired as this young man was driving away. It didn't appear to me that this officer's life was in danger.
Bexar County District Attorney Joe Gonzalez dropped the charges against Cantu.
And you saw that footage, and what did you think?
It was an outrage when I saw that.
David, tonight that district attorney's promising a full and independent investigation to determine if charges should be filed against that police officer, saying he will take this case to a grand jury if necessary. David?
John Quinones reporting from Texas tonight. John, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News.
Now we're going to go to Ceres. Again, this happens all over. The incompetence, the abuse of power.
And we also have newly released video from Ceres Police tonight. It shows body camera video of one of their police officers shooting and killing a teen boy. It happened back in August of last year. A high-speed chase led to 15-year-old Carmen Spencer Mendez running from police. It happened in an orchard east of Ceres. The officer fires more than a dozen rounds before telling the boy to get on the ground. Ceres PD has said the teen had a handgun and other firearms were found in his car. The police department is declining to comment tonight, saying the case is under investigation by the district attorney's office.
Now we're going to go to a video that's very despicable. An unarmed man begs for his life, and the cops shoot him dead after he's begging for his life.
Newly released body camera footage of this police shooting shows Daniel Shaver's last moments. Police were responding to reports of a man pointing a rifle out of a hotel room window.
You do that again, we're shooting you. Do you understand? Please do not shoot me.
Begging for his life.
Then listen to my instructions. I'm trying to do it. Don't talk, listen. Hands straight up in the air. Do not put your hands down for any reason. You think you're going to fall, you better fall on your face. Your hands go back in the small of your back or down. We are going to shoot you. Do you understand me? Yes, sir.
An officer then orders Shaver to crawl toward him. Shaver complies, but then moves his right hand behind him despite the warning. Officer Philip Mitchell Brailsford fires 5 rounds, killing Shaver. Brailsford was charged with second-degree murder over this January 2016 shooting. In an interview with police, he said he thought Shaver was going for a gun, saying, quote, "He could have easily and quickly drawn a weapon down on us and fired without aiming, and he could have hit us or the citizen that we had just detained." No gun was found on Shaver. Brailsford was acquitted last week, his defenders saying his actions were justified.
Pretty much every use of force subject matter expert that reviewed this case.
Now, the manner in which this whole situation occurred, his condescending, very abusive and forceful demeanor towards the person he was talking to, why didn't he just go and take the man into custody and just put cuffs on him? Why didn't he secure the man? He stood that distance with the long gun pointed at the man, barking orders at him. And he knew the man was scared. Not at one time was any of the officers' life threatened. When you're yelling and screaming and barking orders at somebody, it confuses people, and they know it. It makes the people miscombobulated, and they know it. And when the man was crawling, that man didn't make no move for a gun. He didn't make a move for a gun. The man begged for his life, and they still shot him dead.
Case absolutely said he acted consistently with his training.
On the tape, Shaver is repeatedly ordered to follow officers' instructions.
If you make a mistake, another mistake, there's a very severe possibility you're both going to get shot. Do you understand that?
Why was this stop dragged along so long? It was just dragged. All they had to do, they got the gun on him, run up to him, take him into custody. But no, this is how they handled it. Now, this can't be consistent with departmental policy. Can't be.
Yes, you move. We're going to consider that a threat, and we are going to deal with it, and you may not survive it. Do you understand me? Yes, sir.
Despite the warnings he received, Shaver's family does not believe the shooting was justified.
It wasn't.
Attorney saying in a statement to CNN, quote, "That's an execution, pure and simple. The justice system miserably failed Daniel and his family." Witnesses later told police Shaver was showing them an air rifle he used in his job exterminating pests. Polo Sandoval, CNN, Atlanta.
And joining me now to discuss the CNN contributor and national reporter for the Washington Post, Wesley Lowery, who has covered police and officer-involved shootings extensively over the past couple of years here. Wesley, thank you for joining us. The wife of Daniel Shaver has filed a civil suit against the city of Mesa.
Now, we're going to go to a video where one of these tyrants
Well, we begin this afternoon with dramatic moments in federal court today. A retired police officer insisted he was innocent as he was sentenced to life in prison for killing 4 men in Orange County. The judge at one point called him delusional. And good afternoon to you. I'm Liz Chow.
And I'm Joe Torres. David is off today. That judge sentenced Nicholas Tartaglione to 4 consecutive life sentences. The jury found him guilty of killing the 4 men over a botched drug deal 8 years ago.
Eyewitness News reporter Sonia Rincon is in White Plains this afternoon with the very latest. Sonia.
This is in New York.
Yeah, Liz, these were 4 men murdered a little more than 8 years ago. One of them beaten and strangled to death. The other 4 shot execution style in a case that went cold for months before the former police officer was finally arrested. He was convicted in federal court here last year and sentenced today. And in federal court, there are no cameras allowed. Family members of 3 of the victims spoke. They were very emotional here in court, calling Nicholas Tartaglione a monster. And the judge agreed with them, saying, yes, you are a monster, as he sentenced him to 4 consecutive life sentences.
It's just a very emotional day for both sides of the situation.
That intense emotion from family members of 3 of the victims, who did not speak with reporters outside the courthouse, but inside, urged the judge not to let Nicholas Tartaglione ever see the light of day again. The former Briarcliff Manor police officer was found guilty last year of killing Martin Luna, Miguel Luna, and Urbano Santiago, who were all family members, and their friend Hector Gutierrez in April of 2016, after torturing them and burying them in a shallow grave on his Orange County property, believing that at least one of the men owed him hundreds of thousands of dollars in a cocaine deal. Tartaglione himself also spoke at sentencing, denying it all, defiantly telling the judge he was an animal rescuing former law enforcement officer who never could have done any of this and was framed. But the judge...
Exactly, Chrissy. They'll sometimes allow them to resign and not take their certification from them. All they do is just go and work for another police department. It's videos that I've shown that people have worked on 4 police departments. They let them resign before they fire them. And sometimes when they fire them, they allow them to keep their certification. If they keep their certification, their police license, their law enforcement license, all they have to do is take it to another municipality and get hired there.
Slammed his denials, calling him delusional, and saying the evidence against him at trial was overwhelming, that his brutal crimes back in 2016 involved torture, planning, greed, and cover-ups, and scolding him for his lack of acceptance or remorse. The only person to speak outside court was Tartaglione's only family member here. She said she believes her cousin is innocent and looks forward to his appeal, but doesn't blame the victim's family members for directing their anger at him.
If the roles were reversed and someone said this person murdered your family member, I'd hate him too.
Now, the only person to speak in court on Tartaglione's behalf was one of his defense attorneys who talked about his long history of rescuing animals. The judge said it was clear that Tartaglione thought more highly of animals than he did of these 4 victims and had more sympathy for animals, thinking of these men as less than, in part because of racism. The defense has vowed to appeal. Live outside federal court in White Plains, Sonia Rincon, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
Now we're just going to go over from New York to Ohio. Happens there too.
We are learning new details about two separate incidents that led to the firing of two Columbus police officers. One involves a sexual encounter in a supermarket. We will tell you more about that in just a moment. But we began with newly released body camera video of the violent arrest of a teenager, which led to the other officer losing his job. NBC4's Anna Hoffman is here to walk us through that video. Anna, you got some answers from Chief Elaine Bryant.
I did, Carrie. The first incident we're going to show you happened on February 19th. It involves now former officer Donovan Bieber and a 14-year-old boy. Chief Elaine Bryant says this happened in the Linden area. She says Bieber and his partner decided to make a traffic stop on teenagers walking across the street. I will show you body.
What's crazy about that, they have the audacity to do this when they have sisters as chief of police, someone who will give birth to one of us. And they think they could do this on their watch. They don't even care that they're doing this on a sister who is their boss, doing it on their watch. She could give birth or at least had a potential to bring one of us in the world, and they do this on their watch.
Body camera video from this incident in just a moment. I will warn you, it is graphic because as you will see, this traffic stop turns violent quickly. Now is the time to turn away if you do not want to see it. The chief walked me through this video step by step. I asked her how these incidents make her feel. She says it's troubling.
It angers me. I'm disappointed.
These are the words Columbus Police Chief Elaine Bryant used to describe the body camera video you are about to watch. This is from February 19th in the areas of East 11th and St. Clair Avenues around 4 p.m. In this dash camera video, you can hear now former officer Donovan Bieber and his partner talking. They see teenagers from a distance.
And in your opinion, what were they doing? They were walking in the street, doing what kids do.
5'8", put us out of Lowe's in St. Clair with a couple of pedestrian violators.
The officers decide to make a traffic stop. The officers say over the radio for pedestrian violators.
Let's chat.
You can see the teens start to run. Bieber's partner.
We are learning new details about.
You're saying they did it for a traffic stop for pedestrian violators? That makes no sense.
Here now former officer Donovan Bieber and his partner talking. They see teenagers from a distance.
And in your opinion, what were they doing? They were walking in the street, doing what kids do.
5'8", put us out of Lowe's in St. Clair with a couple of pedestrian violators.
The officers decide to make a traffic stop. The officers say over the radio for pedestrian violators.
Let's chat.
You can see the teens start to run. Bieber's partner gets out to follow them, while Officer Bieber keeps driving in his cruiser. Soon after, the video shows both officers are running to stop the teens. Bieber airs over the radio, "We have them at gunpoint." And
They do not care about pulling guns on children. They don't care about that. They do not care about shooting a child, especially if they look like us.
Here is the key moment. You can see Bieber forcefully push the teenager to the ground, hitting his head several times.
Oh, you hit my face. Hands behind your back.
Dude, please, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm complying.
And what is this for? No charge, no type of reasonable, articulable suspicion, no type of probable cause, none of it.
I will break your face.
Okay, I'm sorry.
The officers put two teens in handcuffs.
Turn the child, he'll
down
break
their
his
weapons.
face.
You can see blood on this 14-year-old's mouth. We blurred the video to protect his identity. Bieber drags the teenager to the police wagon by his hair. Bieber keeps aggressively talking to the teen, then shoves him in the wagon. And you hear another officer ask Bieber,
Are you okay?
watching that as chief of this division, what are your thoughts?
It angers me. I'm disappointed. I'm angry. I'm frustrated because this is not what we stand for. What I will tell you is that there was nothing that I saw that would justify all of it.
There's nothing that can justify them even accosting the young people, even stopping them and bothering them. Nothing, absolutely nothing. A traffic stop for pedestrian violators. Cold word from about to fuck with these niggas.
It fired just for the specific use of force. It was the totality of the circumstances in its entirety. Why you're stopping them, why the excessive force.
I asked the chief if this brings up concerns about the rest of her officers.
The majority of our officers have great relationships with this community. I get a lot of compliments about
which is exactly why I say if you don't live in the community, you shouldn't be a cop there, because there has to be some genuine concern for the people in the community. And you can't tell me that you have a genuine concern for a community that you don't live in. I'll tell you, you bullshitting to your face.
The work that the officers do.
As for the 14-year-old, Chief says she has spoken to his grandmother.
They were disappointed about the actions of the officers, but they were relieved and happy with the swift action that the department and the director of public safety took in addressing this issue.
Chief Bryant says Beaver was relieved from duty the next day and was officially fired this week. According to his personnel file, Beaver joined the department in 2020.
The chief was very candid about that situation, but you also talked to her about the other officer who she fired.
Yeah, I did, Carrie. That's right. Chief Bryant says that Robert Spann, he was also fired earlier this week because he was caught on camera performing sexual acts with a Kroger employee, and this was all while he was working special duty at that store. According to the records, this happened between August 15th and September 28th of 2023. Police have not specified which Kroger where this happened. Chief Bryant says a complaint was filed with the Inspector General's office in October. According to documents, the act was consensual. The chief says the Inspector General turned that case back over to the division. Following disciplinary hearings, the chief and director of public safety decided Spann should be fired. Does this worry you that people seeing this will be concerned about the professionalism of your officers?
I don't want them to be concerned. With any agency, when you have 2,000 plus employees, there's going to be a couple of people that may do things that are not best for the agency, or that may exceed even to criminal conduct. But
that's Columbus, Ohio. Probably the majority of the cops there are rogue, corrupt ass cops.
The majority of our officers are out here doing some phenomenal work, have great relationships with our community.
Spann was fired earlier this week. And Carrie, Chief Bryant talked to me about the division's code of ethics. She says it's very important that these officers are behaving with the proper manner that does not hinder their personal integrity or the integrity of the agency.
That's right. And so many people are watching.
Now, this next video was crazy. Cops tased a deaf man for not
A
following.
routine traffic stop turns physical when the driver suddenly gets out of the car.
They tased a deaf man for not following orders that he couldn't hear.
Sit
back in your car. Sit back in your car. Run up on us like that? Excuse me? Who do you think you are?
But strangely, there is no response from the driver, Brady Mystic. Not a word.
Arms behind your back right now, I'm gonna tase you. Tase it.
So why didn't Brady follow the officer's instructions? It's because he's deaf. 26-year-old Brady Mystic says he was beaten during the scuffle and shaken up emotionally. He is speaking with Inside Edition through an interpreter.
The woman police officer was on top of me yelling.
Dumb ass cops. That's outright stupid.
At me, I'm assuming to put my hands behind my back.
Arms behind your back right now, I'm gonna tase you.
I tried to communicate that I was deaf, but with my hands behind my back, I can't communicate that. I was sitting patiently.
Only when the driver has been handcuffed and subdued does the officer realize what the real situation is. Cops brought Brady to a hospital in Idaho Springs, Colorado, where he tried to explain why he reacted the way he did.
The light was in my face, and it scared me, and I couldn't see.
and I didn't like that, and I was frustrated. I understand that, but you should have stayed in your vehicle.
Brady was charged with assaulting a police officer and resisting arrest. He spent 4 months in jail. So what should you do if you're deaf or hard?
And that's to add insult to injury. They beat him up and charged him with assault. Ridiculous.
Of hearing and a cop pulls you over.
If I feel threatened, I'll put my hands up.
Candace Morris is deaf. With the help of an interpreter sitting in the back seat, she told us it's important to stay calm and stay in the car.
Part of the deaf culture, we're very physical, we're very touchy, and that's not something we can do with police officers. Because for them, that would be a threat.
Candace carries a special card indicating she is deaf to show cops, something Brady says he will do from now on.
What do you want to convey about your story and what happened to you?
This should not happen.
Who do you think you are?
Police department reviewed the incident. They found the officer's actions appropriate, but the charges against Mr. Mystic were dropped.
After 4 months in jail, rather. Now we're going to go to a culture of impunity. San Marcos police facing a civil rights lawsuit after tasing 2 people.
2 civil rights lawsuits filed against one mid-sized law enforcement agency. Both cases against San Marcos police. Spotlight its officers' use of stun guns.
In one incident,
crazy.
And they used them on a person who's deaf and couldn't hear their commands.
Shame on that police department for taking that type of action. It was wrong.
KSAT Investigates Dylan Collier sifts through what led to each altercation and examines a department that some say is badly mismanaged. But a warning, this footage may be disturbing to some viewers.
In this federal lawsuit amended in January to add more officers, Albion Leyva describes the brutal excessive force and false arrest he experienced at the hands of San Marcos police just over 2 years ago. A backseat passenger in a car suspected of fleeing from a convenience store theft, Leyva was compliant with raised hands, one holding his ID, the other his cell phone recording video, when a sergeant stepped forward and used his stun gun to electrocute him.
Come to me now! Come to me now!
KSAT Investigates later revealed the sergeant who pulled that trigger, Ryan Hartman, had been back on duty just 6 weeks after a lengthy leave of absence for causing a crash in Lockhart that killed a woman. Despite speeding and having an open beer can in his truck, Hartman was never arrested or disciplined by Internal Affairs.
I think there's this culture of impunity in the San Marcos Police Department.
Rebecca Weber is an Austin-based civil rights attorney representing Leyva.
You realize that there's really a lot of time and opportunity for all the other dudes hanging around watching to say, hey man, like don't do that, or no, it's okay, you know, he's cooperating.
Of the 4 officers named in Leyva's suit, only one of them is still employed by the department. Hartman, suspended 1 week for using unnecessary force during the tasering incident, was fired last year for unrelated rules violations. Jacinto Melendrez, who also tasered Leyva, resigned a month after doing so, according to SMPD.
And it's probably working somewhere else. When they resign and they're allowed to keep their certification, they just go to another department.
Pursue other opportunities. And then there's Jordan Perkins, terminated less than 2 weeks after being named in the lawsuit. Officials said he had repeated rules violations.
Discipline records show last March, Perkins was suspended for placing his gun against the neck and head of a suspect, and in a second incident, used his hand to strike a handcuffed suspect in the face, injuring him.
When you have people with this much disciplinary history and you're still putting them out on the street and you're not reviewing their arrest records and their use of force, you're just setting up a situation where someone's rights are going to be violated.
Weber represents another man who, like Leyva, was on the receiving end.
Greetings to my sister Sharon Walker. Thanks for tapping in.
San Marcos PD stun guns. Big John Kelly, all 6'9" of him, was crossing a street in May 2019 when officers approached him from multiple sides and within seconds repeatedly used their tasers on him. As one officer.
Now they got 2 cops tasing one man, just straight up electrocuting him.
Kicked Kelly, another continued to electrocute him before all 3 finally realized they had taken down a person who could not hear them. Through an American Sign Language interpreter, Kelly told us he'd walked away from his family's car after having a disagreement with his wife, and to this day has no idea why officers resorted to violence.
Because they're violent, and when you don't comply with them, even if you don't hear them, they get very violent when you don't comply with their perceived power. When they bark orders at people, they have this perceived power that they want to exercise over everybody. They get violent when you don't comply.
Kelly was never charged or even handcuffed. Still, officers tried their best to paint Kelly as not compliant.
Every time we were trying to cuff him, he was tucking his hands up underneath his chest.
The false assertion was made at the scene and then repeated in each of the officers' accounts of what happened.
And what's stupid about that is they can make these reports, they can write these reports and match them, but the body camera tells a total different story, and they don't even care about that.
Even as their own body cameras showed Kelly with his hands up by his forehead.
My hands were not on my chest. I wanted to gesture to the police and show them with my hands that I wanted to write, to communicate. That's where my hands were, in front of me, clearly.
Kelly confirmed he's never been contacted by San Marcos Police Internal Affairs to give a statement about what happened to him. All 3 officers shown using force against Kelly are still employed by SMPD. Police Chief Stan Standridge and the city's mayor, Jane Houston, declined interview requests, citing the pending litigation of both cases.
This dude right here, this Chief Stan Standridge, looks like a damn tyrant. He got a very tyrannical looking face. And so does this manly looking woman to the right.
In November, during a taped deposition for Kelly's suit, Officer John DeCourty answered that if the circumstances dictated, it's okay to use a stun gun on someone who is elderly, very frail, or even.
What about a pregnant woman? Is it okay to tase a pregnant woman?
Again, if the circumstances dictated,
they'll do it.
Yes.
They'll do it.
What? Hayes County prosecutors dismissed a misdemeanor interference charge against Leyva last summer. His attorney is now asking the court to add a wrongful arrest claim to his suit, as well as a claim that his First Amendment rights were violated. Kelly's civil rights case is scheduled to go to trial in September.
You know, when you talk about Kelly, Big John, as you called him, his hands are up as he.
So this man said it would be okay to tase a pregnant woman. I'm not surprised.
He's walking across. And as soon as he sees the officers, he begins to try and sign that he's deaf. That is what his normal protocol is. He's used to trying to communicate with people that way. As soon as he sees them, he wants them to know right away that he is deaf and he cannot hear what they're saying.
Right, there we saw right there. How strong are each of these federal cases?
Kelly's case is very strong. It's scheduled for trial in September. His attorneys have already gotten over a lot of those hurdles that you see lead to dismissals kind of early on when lawsuits are filed against police departments. Leyva's case was filed much more recently, so he has to get over some of those same hurdles, the attempts at dismissal, before this gets to trial or a possible settlement.
And in that Kelly incident, we said at the top of the story, the video was hard to watch.
Yes.
It certainly is hard to watch. Any idea whether these officers had some sort of training on how to interact with someone who's deaf?
All 3 of those officers, according to the Texas Commission on Law Enforcement, had taken a 4-hour course on how to interact with drivers who are deaf or cannot hear. That case is specific to interacting with drivers and not to just people in the community that you may interact with in the course of your employment. John DeCourty's course took place 2 months after this tasering incident, but currently all have that 4-hour course as part of their TCOL official records.
Now, you said that Internal Affairs from San Marcos never contacted Mr. Kelly. I'm assuming they also never apologized for
Nope.
how he was treated.
And we asked him that, and he's had no contact with them since this incident took place, whether to give his version of what happened, to get a formal apology from them. We could find no suspensions of any of these officers in the Kelly case. As we mentioned, Hartman was suspended for the Leyva tasering, 40 hours that he was able to use vacation time to cover. But in terms of the Kelly case, the older case, nothing.
It looks like they're protecting each other, Sister Sharon Walker.
Nothing from SMPD. It's the type of situation where it looks like they wanted it just to go away.
And he wasn't arrested, was never charged.
Never handcuffed. There was no assault that took place. Someone called 911 because they saw him using sign language with his wife, who is also deaf, and this was the result.
Not going away because there's video of what happened. So what comes next in these cases?
So Kelly's case is just a few months from trial. This might be a situation where the city of San Marcos settles that case because there really aren't many obstacles left to try and get this tossed out. Leyva, we're probably a couple years, maybe several years away from getting a trial date set.
Sure would have been nice.
They ended up giving him $125,000 for his pain and suffering. But I'm going to go to how you should handle a police officer and keep him calm. This is a foolproof method on how you handle a cop and keep him calm. Foolproof.
Oh, man.
Good morning, sir.
Hi, good morning. It's okay if I film you, sir? I'm just kind of nervous around police officers.
No, sir, that's quite all right. The reason I'm stopping you is for speeding, sir.
No, sir.
Where you're going that fast.
No, sir, I didn't. Now, let me ask you something,
Yes, sir.
officer. Are you aware that today's National Donut Day?
I'm sorry, sir?
Are you aware it's National Donut Day?
No, sir, I'm not.
Yes, sir. Today is National Donut Day.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
So, is there anything we can do? Warning, anything, sir?
No, sir. No, sir. We strictly enforce the speeding rules out here.
Yes, sir. I understand.
May I see your license, please?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No problem. Hang on just 1 second. Here you go, sir. Will this work for you? I can't seem to find my license, but...
You have a good day, sir.
Thank you, officer. I appreciate it very much. Have a good day. Happy National Day.
Now we're going to go into a video where a father and daughter pulled over to switch sides. The father was driving, got tired, so he and his daughter pulled over so she can drive. And this is what happened. And she's a mother and accomplished software engineer. The father is a retired from the same job that his daughter does, family business. And this is what happened. They're taking place all over. This is Solano County. I believe this is in Georgia. I was all over. I was in New York, Ohio, Texas, Tennessee. I was all over, Brother Hawkeye. I was all over because I want to show our people that it happens all over the United States. Now, they pulled over to the side of the road to switch drivers. And when the cops seen them switching, that's all they seen. They proceeded to open their doors to switch drivers. They did nothing wrong. All they doing. Now she was driving, and I think the father's gonna drive. She's 5'2", 125 pounds. And what's crazy They asked her to go inside the car. And what was crazy about the whole thing is that they bothered them in the first place. All she's doing is switching drives. Then you got this manly looking woman who looks like she can be Hulk Hogan's daughter. Now, the same interaction from a different angle showing an officer arrested and beating the sister despite the fact that she was only switching seats and complying with their commands. That's all they did was switch drivers. And she actually got knocked out.
You know what? Detain her. Detain her. Put your hands on the back of your head.
About to switch drivers.
That's all they were doing.
King 6 starts in 30. Back. Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back.
I am not resisting arrest.
And she had her daughters in the back, 3 and 4 years, or 3, 4, and 6. They don't care if children are around. They don't even care if children are around. They don't care if we have our babies with us watching this. They don't even care because they want to instill that same fear in our babies as they grow up. They don't even care.
Approaching me and putting me on the car with force. So those that are listening, I am not arrested. You have 2 different plates on your vehicle. 2 different plates, but you're
And then they lied to say that she has 2 different plates on her vehicle. Who the hell would drive that? Who the hell would do that? They lied, and it turned out to be an outright lie, but you expect them to lie when they talk.
pressing on me. You're not reading. You're not listening. You're not listening. Excuse me. What are you doing? Why are you pulling me away from the car?
Go on. In the back of our patrol car.
What are you doing? Bless me. Put your hands behind your back now. Get on your stomach. Get on your stomach. Get on your stomach. Get on your stomach now. You're gonna get tased. How did she get it open? She slipped it. Double lock. Okay. King 6, we still have a male in the front passenger seat. The X-ray is detained, but we still need pepper. It's fine. You have an X-ray detained and a male in the passenger seat.
King 6, stars 11, 41, 3. The X-ray, I believe she's unconscious.
While she was unconscious, the man was on top of her still. While she was unconscious, the cop was still on top of her, mounting her. And she was unconscious for probably about 5 minutes. No rendering first aid or nothing. She was just unconscious.
Can you see it?
This is absolute. I say you exercise the right that no one can give you and take away from you. The right that someone cannot give you or take away from you is the right of self-defense. Defend yourself, regardless of who you're defending yourself against.
Unlock your car, I got her.
See, these cops be out here like marauders. They be out here like marauders, trying to scope somebody to violate them like this. Salute, peace to my brother Hawkeye. Salute, brother. How you doing, good brother?
Peace, good brother. How you doing, enemies public? Yeah, this is crazy, man. What I'm seeing from my people, we already know the history of these police.
Exactly.
What they did right there was stupid. That's me. I'm not doing a U-turn in front of the cops in the pitch dark. I'm not. Because I'm street smart.
I can't argue with you on that, bro. Especially in that area, bro. You know, and you know the climate, and you know how these devils are, man. I agree with you, bro. I agree.
And you know what that be? You know what that be? Because we think we don't have an enemy.
I agree with that too.
Now the Chicago situation was sad. I missed some because I was getting phone calls. The Chicago situation is sad, but that happens because of the image of our youth and them kids in Chicago. See, all these little niggas online showing switches with that music, whatever they call it, that is dying down now. But that music that they be playing, listening to, that type of hip hop. What you expect? What you think? How do you think cops are reacting? And that we gotta keep it real.
I mean, you're right, brother. You're right.
13 years old. What you in a stolen car for? What we doing out here? Like, look what the fuck our kids is doing, and look what foreigners are doing. What you niggas still in the car for or driving around? If you ain't taking that shit to the chop shop off the rip, nigga, what y'all niggas doing?
Yeah, all that joyriding, bro. Nah.
That's the difference of our era and you old man your era. Then now they think everything's a game. If you niggas ain't taking it to get money right now, and then a brother jumps out of it like, come on, man. I would have stayed in there and got locked up.
A lot of things have changed. Yeah, because if he would have gotten locked up, all it would take was an adult to come get him anyway.
Exactly. But you want to run out and do all this? Y'all got a bad image in Chicago already, and this is the problem that we don't understand. Right?
See,
if our images, go on, my bad, brother.
What you said was key. That part about not knowing and understanding that we have an enemy.
Yeah.
You have to know and understand that. You have to understand that we do have an enemy that's out here lurking. And
yes, and you know what it is?
I don't know if they knew that the cops was out there when they made the U-turn, but still, you out there in Georgia, bro. Let me tell you, my family's from Georgia. No guardrails, no city lights, none of that. Unless you in like a big city like Atlanta, you're not gonna see no lights. It's gonna be all the guardrails and the street lights. There's none of that. If you have one headlight, you hit.
Yeah.
Your car have to function all the way. And being out there like that, now they should have did that in a well-lit area.
Right, exactly, brother. Another thing too, because I experience. Listen, we all gonna experience it. We black, but we gotta protect ourselves to go home. Because I went through experiences. Like I'm gonna tell you a story. I drove to Key West from Miami with my peoples, and this is back in the day. I'm talking about 03.
Okay.
Never forgot this experience. And you know, Key West, that's like a 4-hour ride, 3-hour ride from Miami. And they got on like swamp shit. For those who don't know, it's swamp, darked out. That's where Puffy did that video. I need a girl to ride with Genuine on them.
No doubt.
They was going to Key West. We was in the pitch dark. State trooper, 2 cars. One of the cars we was with got pulled over. What we did, we pulled over, gave the state trooper his space. We ain't leave our boy. No funny business.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, and the state trooper, you know what he said? Yo, I appreciate you guys the way y'all did it. We didn't blind him. We didn't do nothing. Gave him their space. He checked my boy's shit. My other boy that was with us checked his shit. Everything was good. He was like, yo, y'all guys have a good one. Thank you for the professionalism, man. And bounce.
Because if you stop with your boy and you all get out, nobody need to say nothing because they already know what it is. Because you stop with it. They already know what it is. Because when we used to travel, me and the brothers, we used to travel like 5, 6 to 8 to 10 cars. And if somebody got pulled over, everybody pulled over and just got out and stood at our car. That's all we did. We got out and stood at our car, and then when they seen us, like, nah, we won't be able to do this. We don't got what it takes to deal with this. They gonna bring it. So you
see what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You don't need to say nothing, but they gonna know what it is when they see you.
Right. And another thing, like, why is Shorty this? I learned this being young. Once the cuffs is on you, what you doing? You got handcuffs on you. What are you doing? You can't fight it no more until you get to the precinct. You got to let a lawyer fight it for you.
Exactly. But it's certain instances, brother. It's certain instances that a lawyer wouldn't be able to do nothing for me, because if I'm somewhere and I'm armed legally and the cop is not in the confines of the law and they trying to just shoot up, do something to me, bro, self-preservation kicks in then.
Yeah, of course, because you know everybody knows when their life is in jeopardy or when you need to do something. Especially when you're in tune with yourself. When you're in tune with yourself, boom. But see, this is what we got to understand. I'm with you. I'm not here capping for no police. I'm saying we have to be smarter.
Yes, you do.
Right? And we know it's across the country, but we got to start focusing on these states. I'm tired of Negroes acting like, certain states are different.
No, they're not. See, I always say this, Hawkeye. It's as if some of them are just waiting their turn to become a victim.
Okay.
Because they're not understanding that it's nationwide. None of these police departments are different. And the brother and his daughter should have pulled into some type of gas station or something like that. Never did it right there. Should have did it right there. Nope.
They got gas stations. They got the little drive, the thing on the highway. Where they have places for that. Yeah, so you know how that looks in front of them. I'm gonna give you. Homeboy that was driving don't got his license. They got some illegal shit, so he wanted the female to take. That's how it look. You gotta think like these Peckerwoods. See, when you know your enemy, that's their excuse for saying what they did.
When you know your enemy, you know how they think.
Right.
You know how
and it's sad to say, you know, a lot of us think, this is why I'm tired of these niggas with this kissing all these Becky's asses. Oh, it ain't no racism. Stop, man. I can't stand those Negroes. I can't, man.
I can't get with that either, bro.
Now, I'm not saying you want to deal what you want to deal with. That's hate, right? But that doesn't mean because you got a Becky that the world stops with the nonsense. We got to stop this shit, man.
Now, that's blind right there. That's being blinded. That's what that is. Because, I always say, and I was taught by a wise man that, look, if you try to come between two people who really love each other, you're going to lose that. Yeah. So don't even try that. But you can't be blinded because y'all straight, that it's straight. Nah, we can't do that.
Right. And I just learned today by talking to one of the brothers on the panel, that generation of the late 90s, I would say early 2000, those kids that was born in 99, 2000, you say 01, 03, even going 05, but I say 01, 03. They're the kids that they brainwashed and got them thinking that we all won. It's kumbaya. And that's the generation who don't know about no Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, no Nation of Islam, no movements. So then we got to ask ourselves, what was the parents doing? Oh, my bad. A lot of these parents was young and dumb. Or they was the niggas running the streets.
Or didn't even care about, wasn't really into like self-improvement and empowering our people. Some people just not into that because they just don't see nothing in it. They don't see nothing in empowering us as a people. They got this, they think they can do it with a solo act. There's no solo act, bro. Nope.
Nah, you're right, brother. And I never had that upbringing. I never had that. I never had that shit, enemies public. Like, yo, I be looking like, yo, let me tell you something. My mother's light skin a little bit. Not no pale light skin. She's a little red bone, right? I grew up different. I didn't realize that our people were weak, color struck, and insecure until like my early 30s. Because my household didn't play that shit. My moms didn't play that bullshit. Don't you bring home no Becky, nigga. You want to have fun, you take her to the hotel. And you better not get her pregnant.
You'll be looked at sideways, brother.
Don't be cooning for no man. I didn't grow up scared of the white man.
Not me either.
I seen my mother punch a white man in the face. I seen Muslim brothers, Nation of Islam brothers get busy. I seen Israelites get busy. My generation, we got busy. So I can't come online and niggas be like, oh man, fuck religion. Them Israelite niggas dancing. Nigga, who you think was holding the hoods down, nigga?
Bro, me, I don't have that sentiment. I meet people where they at. I don't because somebody have an ideology or belief. If because you may be sending someone away that is real intricate to the move, and because they believe a certain way or they have a faith, you sending them away, that's just not wise to me. Because you never know because what they into is probably what attracted you to them anyway. Because what they're into is probably what made them the man or woman they are. So you can't send them away because of, you can't chase them and run them away because of that. That's just not how I do things. It's what Dr. King said, content of the character. I watch people on a protracted period, and whatever they show me, that's what I see. That's how I deal with it. Because I met strong brothers in all faiths. Strong brothers that would get back to back with you and thump.
Thank you, brother. You know, I learned, and that's what I said. I grew up never talking back. I didn't grow up with this old man age don't mean nothing. You stupid niggas. You couldn't tell OGs that back in the day, nigga. They'll leave you alone. What you think stopped a lot of niggas from getting beat up and robbed, nigga? Your OGs.
I had a thorough father. That's one of the things. I had a thorough father and 4 brothers. It was 5 of us. It was 6 counting my father. Father was thorough.
You couldn't come home or tell your uncles or the men around your pops, man, I ain't listening to no old age don't mean nothing. Look at you. Like, what? Shit, this little nigga, oh, you paying bills now? Oh, you paying bills now?
Not my father's brothers or my mother's brothers. They all was thorough, and they will put their foot in your ass.
Facts.
Period. You're going to listen to them, and you don't have no choice. You didn't have no choice.
Can I give you another story? Right? My mom's, she got rid of my pops. Boom, boom, boom. It was over some other shit, right? So, as you're growing up. So one day, so now I always growed up. Once my pops left, you the man of the house, nigga. My mom's let me know that young. Ain't no man coming up in here running. I had friends, them niggas' moms kicked them niggas out over a man. And shit like that. It's a lot of shit going on in that household. My mother told me from the rip, you will never go through no shit like that. A man coming up in here thinking this is your house. Right? And when a man came, my mother told that nigga in front of his face, and I'm looking like, yeah, nigga. And if you do some wild shit to my mom's, you know I'm gonna get you, right? With the goons, nigga. I don't know what's going on with it. So I'm gonna give you a story. I'm in the crib one day, you know, I had the fellas over. I grew up in an era where I'd rather you be in the crib doing certain things than y'all niggas being outside. You know what I'm talking about, enemies public. In the 90s.
I know what you're talking about. You know, I'm a little older. You know what I'm saying? I was a grown ass man in the 80s.
Exactly. So you know what I'm talking about. It was like, yo, I'd rather you smoke a joint in the crib than be outside because the police gonna come down. Niggas think they coming down now. Come on, man. Yo, so one of my Jamaican friends, just to show you the household I grew up with, was cracking jokes on my Haitian friend. But I'm on the phone with a shorty or something, and my mom's heard that shit. I wasn't in my room. Man, she went in my room and was like, yo, stop that shit, nigga. We don't do that in this household. We ain't making fun of no Haitians, because at the end of the day, you Jamaican, we American, nigga. We could be calling you an island nigga all the time. My mom was like, look at it. I see black and Spanish, nigga. It's melanated people up in here. Because he started calling my boy a Haitian booty scratcher. You know, little jokes. My mom did not play that shit, man.
I see it like this. I was always taught that our enemy is not going to distinguish us from one another. They not. They're going to look at your skin. They don't care what accent you speak in. They don't give a damn. They're going to look at your skin, bro. That's why I always say our skin is a uniform in this war that's been waged against us. Our skin. They can care less because they're not even trying to hear you talk. They're looking at how you look, and that's enough for them. They're going to get it. They're going to get it one day. A lot of them don't get it now, but they're going to get it one day, bro. I'm telling you.
You're right.
Because
can't we think
our enemy don't do that. Our enemy don't do that. You got Irish, you got Italian, you got whatever. They look at each other. They may have some discourse any other way, but one thing they agree with, they agree when it comes to us.
Right.
And that's called being on code, something that our people just can't get together, bro. We just can't get it, bro. You can't get it.
And you know what kills me too, enemies public? How we thinking by saying, oh, I'm not black is gonna do something. Okay, we know that. We know law. We can play all the semantics we want. Nigga, how you looking?
That's all it is, bro. Semantics.
How we looking? You think he care? I don't care if you got braids or baldy or dreads, nigga. They first of all, they already scared of us. If you not feminine and walking around with a purse, nigga, you a threat.
Definitely is, bro. But it's like this. I always ask, okay, once we get full established of who we are, whether it's by name, ethnicity, whatever, now what? Now what? And if we're not exercising any power, we're not able to exercise any power and show strength as a unit, they're going to disrespect that too. I don't care what we call ourselves. So that's why it don't matter to me. Because the title I use, you know, I say brother, I say sister. That's the titles. Those are the titles that I use because that's how I was taught, brother and sister. But the names and all that, to me, it's not, it's as important to me as the globe and the flat earth. Not important at all to me.
Not important at all, brother. I don't get that either. I don't get that. Like, why are we go on, brother? I look at it like I look at all of that as a waste of time. Our people, instead of putting energy in something that you could see the value of it, that means production, something's gonna come out of it. What are we worrying about a flat earth for?
It's not
I don't get it.
It's not.
It's not. And to me, I think these is brothers who scared to really get their hand on something. And you know what the pandemic did? You know what the lockdown did? It got all these niggas really thinking that they're smart. A lot of these people shouldn't even be having channels. And they wouldn't have had a channel if they wasn't in the house for 2 years. Because some of these channels need to go, man. And they're going to go. But people got to stop supporting them. I look at it like this. Before I go to your channel, I'm viewing you. I'm not rocking with everybody. I don't care what your message is.
I don't either. I don't rock with everybody, bro. I don't rock.
You
with
gotta
everybody.
feel people out. And look at it. Why you think I said you? Like I told you earlier, I'm coming to you. I'm like, yo, look at the nonsense, because I see it. Yo, last night was bad, and we ain't gonna get into it because we talking about the police. But last night was bad on Cuddy's show, man. It was bad, enemies public, and I see something, and I don't want to bring up the North and the South.
But you've been on that for a few weeks.
Yeah, and I've been on that for a while.
I'm saying being disgruntled about what's going on in the channels. You've been saying it for a few weeks, man. You
yeah, and I've been saying it for a while. Yeah, but I chill, come back.
Yeah, exactly.
Your enemies probably kid you not, and I'm not bringing up no North or no South. We all in the same boat. I love my people. I grew up knowing my roots, but there's a difference with us up here than down there, man. I see it. I see it when I go down the South. Not all of our people, but a lot of our people. And I see it being up North. We're not scared of pale faces. They are a little bit. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Maybe because we had to deal with the mob. We rub elbows with crooks. And we knew how to deal with these niggas. Like, oh, word, you ain't the only one that's going to be busting somebody upside the head. They didn't, like, all this information they think is new was talked about in the 80s. I'm like, you niggas are slow or something? Well, what's wrong with us?
A lot of that stuff to me is, that's why I don't really get into it, because it's really Johnny come lately, and I've done it in the 80s and in the 90s. So I'm like, yo, you need a late pass, man, because that shit is old.
Yo, thank you. And you know what kills me? I'm tired of us being like, listen, you don't have to agree with religion or nothing 100%. First of all, you're not going to never agree with somebody 100%. Only ass kisses do. Yes, men do.
Bobbleheads.
Right? But I'm not going to be here growing up in New York and act like the Israelites didn't. Yo, I was young. I remember late 80s being in Manhattan with my moms. Israelites barking on white people. My mother stood right there like, yeah, listen to that shit. He's talking the truth, nigga.
I seen it too, bro. I seen it too in New York, on 125th Street.
Thank you. You know
every time, bro. Not only that, because I was in NOI since like 87. So
okay.
I know. So that was when we was throwing the hands and shit, bro. I was in it back then, bro. You know what I'm saying? I soldiered with Dr. Khaled, bro.
Right. So he was official. I went to the Day of Atonement. I was there.
And you was there? Okay, I was there too.
I was there I was 17. When it was 94, I was like 16, man. 15. I'm in Day of Atonement, hoodie on with my niggas. Come on, man. And I'm looking at some of these brothers in the South, and I'm like, yo, y'all be trying to play us up here. Y'all niggas need to get it together. Because when I grew up, my mother had to sit me down while some niggas couldn't have the day off and celebrate Martin Luther King. So I don't want to hear certain shit like, oh, nah, it wasn't. Niggas, you niggas couldn't even get the man's holiday.
I can't. See, me, I was taught a long time ago to never speak against anybody who ever stood for us.
Yeah, me too. Me too, man.
I was taught that at an early age because, for one, I always ask the naysayers and the one who say everybody who ever stood for us was either a COINTELPRO, a sellout, or agent or whatever. I don't rock with that. I don't, because for one, I've been in movements, and you can't tell me nothing about the movement that I've been in. Nobody could.
Right.
Because if you was never in that movement, you can't tell me about that movement that I've been in for 30 plus years. You can't tell me nothing about it.
Right.
Because I was in it and I know what we've done. I know what the brothers done.
No, thank you, bro. And I gotta always respect you. Why you think I was like, and let me tell you, you can tell, I don't know what this is, but I think communism and atheism raided our community, man. And I'm never rocking with no
I just don't rock with disrespecting those who came before us. I don't rock with that because, for one, if you say they dropped the ball, why aren't you picking it up?
Right.
You can't say
And if it wasn't for them, yo, you're right. And if it wasn't for them, right? Oh, let's keep it real. If it wasn't for the ones back in the days, for the brothers who like to walk around with a Becky, who you think made it easier for you to walk around with a Becky?
They were enjoying they're enjoying whether it's big or small, they are enjoying the yardage. They're enjoying the yardage that the brothers got who they say dropped the ball. Okay. If they drop the ball, you see it, pick it the hell up and run it into the end zone. Being that you literally dropped the ball.
Thank you. Thank you. Your enemy's public. I got chased by Tyrants. Not to say we didn't handle our business. They got cool. I'm talking as a young kid, man. 11 years old, chased by older, teens. Went back, told our OGs, oh, word. My OG was like, what, 18? I ain't no way. Them niggas were really. But I got chased by Italians.
I was just speaking to one of my OGs last week. Okay. And he was like, bruh, we ain't see none of that nonsense that cats are doing. He said 5-0 couldn't come to our hood and snatch nobody up and beat on them. They couldn't do that in the projects I grew up in or on the Ave in my city. They couldn't do that, bro.
Nah, Jersey, I didn't play that shit. I knew that already from the.
They could not do that, bro. And in my neighborhood where I live at, you cannot snatch up on no brother and beat him up and do whatever you want to do. If you're gonna do that, you probably gonna do that down at the headquarters, but on them streets.
Yeah. Yep, and I always said it, Jersey. I always give respect to Jersey. I don't care what nobody. When they come to this, police brutality and for the people, nah, Jersey don't play that, man. Yeah, I definitely was on some different shit. Nah,
no, you couldn't do that, bro.
And then you be online and you hearing how a lot. And I'm like, yo, was you niggas outside? Like, what are you talking about, man? You think we didn't have to fight up north? So you niggas trying to lie to us like everything was good, knowing that we had it better than y'all, and you niggas is fronting.
Most case scenario, brother. Fronting.
Right? It's mind-boggling. It's like we bringing up excuse, and you know what they're doing? We're erasing our own history.
Yep.
We're doing that.
Exactly.
We're erasing our own history. We thinking the police is our friends. No, I was raised, sat down, moms talk to me, yo, you out on them streets, be careful. Be careful with the cops. That's how you handle him. Don't be bowing your head down and be calling him sir. You let him know you standing firm, but let him know, because my mom's worked for the city. Okay, I remember one time I got locked up and the cops was looking at me. My mom was on vacation and she was going on a cruise. And I got locked up in the park right before she left. And I didn't even tell about cops or nothing. Like, my mom worked for the city. This is when you 18, 19. I'm out of high school. Yeah, the cops come to the cell. They was like, yo, your mom's worked for the city, man. I was like, yeah. They like, why the fuck you didn't tell us, man? I was like, why I'm supposed to tell y'all niggas? They looked at me. They was like, yo, man, we gonna let you go, man. They was like, yo, just give us her number where we can contact her or a friend or family just to verify that, you out of here. Like, what's wrong with you? Why you smoking weed in the park like that? I was like, nigga, I do what the fuck I want to do. It's weed. I ain't selling it. I ain't smoking crack. I ain't robbing nobody. Hold up. And I got locked up in front of my girl. That's what. I said, yeah, but y'all niggas locked me up in front of my girl, though, right? And they was like, oh, shit. So she came back, picked me up at the precinct. Because when they locked me up, she drove to my crib and caught my mom's before she was about to leave. Like, yo, her guy just got locked up. And she was like, what? So I didn't know. My mom's called the precinct while they trying to get in touch and doing all that. She called, like, yo, y'all got my son down there? Yada, yada. They let me out. And from then on, my family was known for fighting, going upside the Tyrants and all of that. So I come from that type of shit.
Look, bro, it's been like in my city, quite a few thorough ass families.
Yeah, thank you, enemies public.
That didn't play, bro. Quite a few, not just my family, but it was quite a few thorough ass families that you just weren't gonna do anything to. It was just like that. It was just like that. Like in my city, it's not even that big, but don't come through there with the nonsense.
Yes. That's how I grew up. My mom got arrested in front of me. My mom got arrested in front of me for regulating beating somebody up. And guess what? Came home, could have had a lawsuit, but why she didn't? Because she was getting ready to retire. And she was like, yeah, I didn't want to do that. Then I lose my shit. And also, my mom's is ill. Like you said, you got to think about like the enemy. She's like, if I sue the police force, I got to make sure you okay, nigga. And I'm like, oh, shit. That's deep. Cause I was like, yo, why you ain't suing, Ma? Why you ain't? She's like, yo, listen, I'm old. They ain't stressing me. I got to make sure you good. We get a payout. You think, oh, yeah, they going to come rock with you if they want to now.
Well, they you know, even though they don't do it blatantly sometimes, they definitely try to retaliate.
Right. My mom's just beating the cops up and all of that shit. And she could have got a lawsuit. Yeah, it was nice. But she was like, nah. And guess what? From there on, I ain't gonna say I never got locked up. I ain't had no problem. But I knew what she was getting at, because as you get older, that's that wisdom. She like, yo, we get sued, we gonna get some bread.
Definitely had that wisdom when they get older.
We gonna get some millions or some big 6-figure. But now you ain't leaving New York. You know, everything was going digital soon. In the late 90s, we was knowing shit was going digital. She like, okay, they gonna start fucking with you. I gotta make sure you're good.
Yeah. You get older, bro. Certain things don't impress you. And certain things you don't take for granted. And certain things you just don't, you don't fret at, because you older, and you do more thinking.
Yes.
Back when I was younger, I'm in my 58th year of life, you know what I'm saying? Back in the day when I was young.
You don't even look at brother, good shit. Oh wow, that's me. I can tell, man, you got that aura, man.
Certain things, back when I was younger, bro, in a heartbeat. Now it's like, yo, we need to reconsider this. We need to create a strategy first instead of just going out there. You know what I'm saying? You got to strategize. Because you want to be able to carry out whatever you set forth. You want to be able to carry it out. So
yeah, because like I said, it's serious. But going back to the whole police, it's like our people got to wake up. It's not a game, and these young brothers out here, they got to stop playing, man. Because the image now, they looking bad. Police ain't playing with them.
And not only that, Hawkeye, you have to realize that they are race soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
Every sense of the word race soldier, if you don't understand what that means, you're going to fall a victim to the race soldier. And the race soldier is not necessarily, skin color, because some of our people are race soldiers. Some of them want to be honorary white supremacists. By default, some of them just want to be down. So you have to consider that. I know some brothers who were police officers who wasn't even like that. They just did their jobs, bro, and that's it. They didn't want all the other nonsense clicking with other inside the ranks. They wasn't doing that. I know some brothers personally. There was just brothers that happened to be cops.
It's a paycheck. Yeah, just be cops and a paycheck and a career, not even a paycheck, a career, and that's it.
They retired. They still came around. They still coached the football team. They still, was around like they just had a job. You just had a job.
Came to the barbecues, and they put you on to some education on how to handle them. And you might have got your PBA cards and all of that shit.
Exactly. And then I know some that overzealous.
Yeah.
Only person they hang around is cops now. I know them too.
Yeah. You're right. Because they definitely get their psychology. They psych them. They change their mind. You're right about that. It's about the mind, but it's sad that I would think after a lockdown, after what our people went through, after what we saw with Obama, just how we've been dealt a hand and everybody's getting a little benefits and getting their little reparations or whatever, like we would really be getting it together. Something's wrong. Something is really wrong with our folks, man. I don't know what it is. I think it's frequencies. It's a little bit of everything. I think it's the shit they put in the food. It's a frequency that they got
Definitely
going
that.
on.
It's definitely in the food, bro. It's definitely in the food and
the TV and the music.
Some of us think that nothing happened to us, and I beg to differ, bro. With the behavior of some of these cats, man, you're not gonna tell me something didn't happen to our people. Something happened to our people, bro.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And it's, oh my god, I went to the store. You want to hear something? It's a cat, right? This cat is cool. We was talking. I go to the store late nights. Right? He was like, we was talking. He was like, hey, Hawk. He was like, hey, man. He was like, something came up about a shooting or something, and he looked at me. He said, yo, I don't know how people can shoot each other, man. Like it's nothing. He said, yo, you had to have some shit happen to you in your childhood for you to be 15 and 17 and 18 and just to be shooting somebody and killing people. He's like, yo, what's going on out here, man?
Chemical imbalance, bro. It's a chemical imbalance. It's like you just finished saying, brother, it's in the food, you know, it's in the upbringing. And we have to realize that the weed that our family smoke today is not our parents' weed, bro.
Nah, it's not. It's the super.
That's that stuff that's chemicalized, that got the estrogen in it and all that stuff, and you got a whole bunch of violent ass, effeminate ass men, emotional ass fucking men, bro.
Yeah.
Overly bro. And they're violent too. They smoke something and they get real violent, bro. And they don't even have no type of communication or problem solving skills. Don't know how to talk to their own damn brother.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And you're right. It's chemistry. You know, one thing is important, though, enemies public, and our people have to understand. These people do research. They watch animals. They watch people. So we don't have none of that. And this is going back to what you were saying about the bill, because I know I don't want to change the subject from the cops. This goes back to the society. I think our people have to understand this is how it is when you build a society. Right? That doesn't mean we have to deal with it. And we shouldn't be at the bottom of the toll pole at society.
Bro, some of our people think that our enemies' knee belongs on our neck.
Yeah.
That's how some of our people think.
Yeah, that's the right word. And now you got this whole thing, people like, oh, the enemy looks like us. And I'm like, yo, what you niggas talking about, man? Are you niggas mad because we got rich niggas?
Let me tell you something, Hawkeye. When somebody hate themselves, when they see their brother, they see their brother like they see themselves.
Yeah.
And they see their brother through the eyes of their enemy. A self-hating Negro is dangerous because he see all of us like he see himself.
Yeah.
Or herself.
And I've never experienced that to now. Like, this is the first time I'm hearing people. We all know every culture and group got rats, sellouts, coons, whatever we want to say, agents. We know that.
That's the truth.
But for us and what they pushing in this community, oh man, who's the ones in charge? Yeah, look like us. We gotta watch it, you know. And I'm like, yo, what is wrong with y'all?
Salute, Voodoo Child. Thanks for tapping in, Voodoo Child.
Yeah, salute, Voodoo Child. I'm like, you think, I don't care how rich a nigga is, you think Puffy is, or any of these cats, give a perfect example. Look how we dogging Puffy. I ain't a Diddy fan of nothing, but look how we quick to see one of us fall, a demise, and we just step on it. We didn't do that for Weinstein. We didn't do that for Epstein.
Right? See, me, regardless of me, my sentiment is regardless of who it is, the ethnicity, it is if anyone who is serving to the detriment of my people, that's my enemy.
Right.
That's my enemy. I don't care if he look like us, he one of us. If he's serving to the detriment and he is exploiting my people and serving to the detriment of my people, that is my enemy. If anything happened to him, I wish I could do it. I wish it could be me that do it. If you're doing anything to my people.
You're right, bro. And I'm like, yo, and I think it comes with a lot of confusion. And I'm just like, yo, how we out here now? We're the enemy. So what? I can't. So every person I look at, melanated or black, or now we can't call each other black now. It's like, yo, that's the enemy now. What's our mindset?
That's the order of the day, though, bro. In this so-called conscious community, that's why I don't even affiliate myself with no community. I'm Bro.Nasir from the Enemy's Public. That's who I am. I have people who I rock with, but I can't get with that because I can't use the sentiment that makes us suspicious of everybody who stood for us. I can't do that.
Right. I'm not gonna diss, man. They have to look at it. These brothers was young. They was in their 20s, man.
The information is becoming problematic. The information is becoming problematic.
That shit is real information, because not everything you read is good for you. And you got to maintain, and that's the first thing you learn when you get in knowledge. Know where it's coming from. And certain things. Go on, brother. My bad.
Information is becoming very problematic, and it's becoming the distraction. Above all, the information is becoming the distraction itself.
Yeah.
Because you got people, we have some among us who are addicted to the information, and all they do is they want to get up and they want to pass on information back and forth to each other. And someone, they just want to go, they go from channel to channel to argue. Information. They don't know how to have a conversation. They just want to argue all day, every day, go from this channel to this channel because they want smoke. Nah. And I know the difference between smoke and somebody just kicking up dust. You're not bringing smoke, you're kicking up dust. That's how I see
it.
Kicking up dust. And I know the difference between smoke and dust because none of these cats, most of them would not talk in public, in front of someone the way they talk on social media. They're talking that way because they're where they're at and the other person is where they're at. But if they was in front of each other, they'll humble themselves.
It'd be a whole different person. It'd be a whole different person.
Most of these cats, if I told you shut up in front of me, they'll shut up. I guarantee you. Because they'll know to shut up. Because the way I tell them to shut up, they will shut up.
Right. And it's like, yo, and I can't rock with this shit. No, I'm like, yo, we dissing everything. We racing our history. We don't give shout out for the inventions. We don't want to. I ain't saying that. It's like, yo, what was with this whole anarchy? It's like these niggas is anarchists. And how do you pronounce that word? Anarchy, atheist, common. I'm like, yo, y'all don't see what y'all going. You go on that dead end. I ain't going on that shit, nigga. You ain't telling me.
I can't rock with a lot of it.
Yeah, exactly. And some, they got to do some soul searching. You don't, we understand. Religion and a higher power is two different things. We know religion is a business. We know that's what they do to keep. Picture a society without a religion. I don't think these niggas know that. Without no law and order. How you think a society will look?
Yeah, I mean, law and order, without law and order, there's definitely chaos. It's definitely chaos without law and order because everything, just imagine if your organs in your body decide to do what the hell it want instead of functioning in its capacity, you're on your way out of here.
Right.
So everything has to work in its according to its functionality. Everything. I believe in order.
Right.
In everything I do, order. I don't even like being late for nothing.
Right.
No. Punctuality, I believe in all that. I just don't believe in, you know, because that's just the way I was taught.
Yeah.
I was around elders all my life, elder brothers all my life. My father's friends, my
And
uncle.
you couldn't be late with them back in the day. They didn't play that on Negro time. Trying to color, but they didn't play that. That was a '90s thing. That was some hip hop brought out. Color people time. Crazy.
Exactly.
You couldn't play that
No,
back in the day.
No, not with anybody I've been around. Nope.
You can't play that color people term shit. Nah, man. I don't know. That's what I'm saying, man. And when you seen it and know, it's like, yo. And think about, look at all these channels in the community. Motherfuckers ain't organized yet. We over here battling like it's a rap battle. Let's do some debates. Let's do all this person ain't crushed this person.
That's why I call it intellectual masturbating, brother. That's why I call it.
They're wrestling with each other. Yep.
Because you're getting off by undermining the next brother or sister. God forbid if a female has something to say. All hell break loose.
Right. And I'm just like, well, I didn't know. Somebody said something a couple years ago, right? I think it was during the pandemic. And that stuck with me. He was like, I didn't know why people was going out like this. He was my age group. He was like, yo, if I knew this, he goes, if you go back in time, you would never think that our people would be where we at now. Because what we saw in the 90s, where we was at.
Yeah, I agree.
You would never think we'll be at where we at right now. That fast, they done flipped it on us. And Obama was the sleeping pill. They rocked us to sleep with that Negro.
That was a lulling. And Obama was that but for those who subscribe to that, because I didn't believe none of that shit, bro. You know what? But you know what? Anybody who know me would tell you that I said that he was next. He got next.
Right.
If you question anybody who actually know me personal, that they would tell you that I said that when he spoke at the Democratic National Convention. I said he got next. Where the fuck he come from? He got next. Well, I said that when he spoke. I said he got next. He's gonna be the next president. This dude right here. And damn if he wasn't.
Yeah, they selected him. It's like he was the new crack era, and we still recovering from that.
And he was the lulling, and he was that false hope, that picture of the fake Jesus. That's who Obama was. He was that lulling to sleep, the picture of the fake, because he only conducted business as usual.
Yeah.
Their business, that is, not ours. He didn't conduct no business for us. Look what happened on his watch. So many brothers, Trayvon Martin and Sandra Bland and Kai Gurley and what's her sister name, who was shot by the Maryland police, Kareem Gaines, and all the shit happened on his watch.
Yeah, a lot of police brutality.
Eric Garner, all that shit happened on his watch. And all he could say is, if I had a son, he looked like Trayvon. That's all he could say. He didn't take no initiative to actually do something about what was going on in the city with all these killings. He didn't say anything about it. Nothing about it.
Right. Nothing. And you know what's the ill shit? I remember some white people was saying before he got in office, they was warning us about that dude, man. Gotta keep it a buck.
Yeah, you had a whole bunch of people warning us about the Obama deception. And I think that's why they got rid of Patrice O'Neal, the comedian. He one of the first persons who said something about the Obama deception.
You're right. He did expose Obama back then with his joke. Yeah, you're right.
Way back then, the Obama deception. But I've never put my faith in, and I never will put my faith in a politician. A politician? Are you serious? That's a bloodsucker of the poor. Poly is many, a tick is a bloodsucker. So I'll never put my faith in a politician. They say, vote your conscience. Well, my conscience is telling me that neither one of these cats fit what I want to happen.
Right.
So I'm my conscience by not voting. But they tell
Right.
us we have to choose. No, I don't have to choose nothing. If I go into a farmer's market and everything in that motherfucker rotten, I don't got to buy nothing.
Right.
I walk out of there.
And you know what's the sad part that really hurts me? Because it's like, even seeing them videos, like, I'm 47. I'm like, damn. I've been seeing this shit all my life. You older than me. You've been seeing it before all your life. My
Bro, I got
moms.
friends
Your
that got killed by
moms.
cops. I got friends
Wow.
got
I
killed.
knew somebody who got killed.
I'm sure you know somebody got killed in New York. Well, I got friends that got killed
Yeah.
by cops in my city.
Wow. Look at that. And it's like, yo, how we still going through this shit, bro? I'm like, yo.
Yeah, I'm talking like 30 years ago, like 91. And I mean,
Yeah. Same here. I know somebody who died in the early 90s, man. Remember that illegal chokehold? That shit was real, man.
I'm talking about shot in the back type shit, bro. Shot in the back. I got friends. I mean, friends that got killed, male and female, that got killed by cops.
Look at that.
In my little ass. So it's nobody can tell me nothing about that because I know people that happened to. And what's crazy about that is none of them was held accountable. Not one. Not one. You see them being indicted or whatever in other cities. Not one in my city, bro, was held accountable for it. And what's crazy about my city, bro, the mayor of my city been mayor since like 1990. That's not that's a regime.
Yeah.
It's a regime. And I'm like, yo, why aren't people going to City Hall and trying to put like term limits on the office?
Yeah.
It should be term limits. Nobody should be mayor that long.
Right, because you know where that comes from? That comes from that family and control and power running the town.
And you're absolutely correct, because before then it was his cousin.
Wow.
And before then it was his cousin's father.
Wow.
So it's been a family business since I was around, bro. As long as I can remember, the mayor's office been a family business.
Yeah. And that's Jersey you talking. So picture a smaller state.
Exactly.
Yo, you're right. And it's like, yo, like when I saw that, I be seeing I'd be like, yo, I don't play with the cops. I don't play with them. I let them know. I let them know fast. I'm not playing with them.
I don't play with them.
I avoid them. Yep, I avoid them.
I don't bother them. They don't bother me.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like that. Because I'm on some higher power shit. I embrace my melanin. So in my realm, my spirit soul, they don't bring that shit. That's what don't bring that shit to me, man. I talk to a higher power. While other niggas be talking that other shit, nah. Don't bring them devils my way. And that goes for all devils and heathens and demons. Keep them niggas away from me.
Exactly.
It's sad, man. It's sad.
But you know, we let symbolic gestures pacify us, bro. Symbolic stuff. They don't offer us nothing that we can actually put our hands on, and we're so easily distracted by symbolic gestures. Like today, you got around the country people celebrating a holiday.
Yeah.
That they don't even they're not even familiar with.
Yeah. Or understand the meaning of it, right?
But they making it what it could be real good, but what it's turned out to be, we probably can't even reverse that, because it's like any other so-called holiday. I call them holidays. I call them holidays. When you got people making money off it, being a capitalist a capitalist thing, you know, Juneteenth potato chips, Juneteenth ice cream. That means you would
all
all that crazy bullshit, bro. You know what I'm saying? Juneteenth balloons and all this other crazy stuff. Instead of having some serious, when are we gonna? You're gonna take something and add some seriousness to it,
right?
You know, because according to the history of it, it should be all serious.
Right.
It shouldn't be nothing rinky dink about it, but you know, they just turned it, bro. I just can't get with it, bro.
And you know what it looks like? It look like our politicians, we already know they sellouts and coons, but it looked like they took the holiday, like that's our reparation or something. Like, well, what's going on here? Y'all just throwing us bullshit holidays.
But you
but
know
everybody
what?
else,
those who are those are in different tax brackets, those who are, you know, content with trinkets.
Yeah.
That's what it is, just content with trinkets. And then, like, you know, they'll tell us that we should you know, we should be happy about a motherfucking so-called holiday. You sounding robotic now, brother Hawkeye.
Hello, you there? You there, enemies, Papa?
You better now, a lot better.
Okay,
a lot better.
Yeah, my bad. I was breaking up. Yeah, I got you. I'm here. Yeah, brother, it's crazy, man. What was that last part you were saying? I'm sorry.
I mean, they just took it and made it, you know, the symbolic gestures. You know, they're so content with having a symbolic gestures instead of something that we can actually put our hand on. You know,
right?
Those who are not in our tax bracket, like you take for instance, like a Steve Harvey, he'll tell us to vote anyway. Don't worry about reparations, nigga. You got $200 million, so whoever president's not gonna fucking affect you. All right.
Right.
Not gonna affect you. So why are you telling us what we should be doing? You know what I'm saying? He's telling us what we should be doing when it doesn't even matter who the president is to him. And either this dude is cutthroat, either he's a cutthroat nigga or he's kissing ass. He's doing one of the two.
Right.
Cut somebody's throat, or he's just straight up kissing ass and then trying to get us to kiss ass. I don't
and since we talking about, you know what's the funny thing? He has the nerve to talk while his daughter, I don't know if that's his real daughter or if that's his stepdaughter, but she's out there being a loosey-goosey. Like, nigga, go home. Yo, your woman cheated on you, they trying to front.
He's the last person he's the last person who should be giving anybody any type of advice. Steve Harvey he shouldn't do it, bro. I really don't like I try to tell our people don't let entertainers influence us. We should never let entertainers influence us because they're always entertaining and they're always on stage. The world is a stage to them. So don't let them influence us.
Yeah. You know what it is? I think I grew up different, enemies public like you. I was getting Malcolm X tapes from my mom's at 13. You know, they had the tapes.
Bro, I have records, bro.
Right. I was listening to this shit, had it in my Walkman. My mom's came home and bought me home some tapes, and I was like, oh shit. Then that opened me up. Now when I'm outside, I'm getting books and tapes of my own.
I had the Ballot or the Bullet on the record, brother, an album.
Wow.
The Malcolm X speech, the Ballot or the Bullet. I had that as a record, bro. An album. I have a few Malcolm X speeches on album.
Right. Look at that. That's what I'm saying. So I grew up and they knew what they did because they had generations like you. The OG, you was the OGs putting us on, and my generation was like, okay. And then they stopped it like what, 2 generations right after me. That 1 or 2.
Yeah, brother.
Because
like, you're right, bro. Because cats don't care nothing about you mentioned something about us coming together as a people. They consider that Black Power a Black Empowerment movement, and our people have been disgruntled by that. And we think because we go to social media, their platforms, and pull up something about our own brother, we'll take that and say, we'll read it and say it's true. No, that's apparent what you're reading. It doesn't mean that it's true because you can Google that shit and pull it up and read it.
Right.
Some of our people actually think because they pull up something up on social media and they can read it that it's true. No, that's apparent that you see this, but it doesn't make it true. And you got to realize whose platform these are.
Right.
When all these these people not going. You better actually consider that they're gonna plant some damn so-called receipts.
Right. And play with the information.
Exactly.
You're
They're
right,
gonna do some stuff to turn you away from where you're supposed to be going. They're trying to turn you to a different direction than the direction you were going. Well,
right.
A lot of our people don't do research. We don't do research. We just search.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. And that was my thing. I learned that, and I see it in the community. Cats they just know what they're reading about, and they don't have no history they don't have no knowledge of history of what happened the last 30 years with our people in the community. Never spoke to elders. These niggas sound like niggas who just came home from jail or something, man.
And what they also do, brother, they look for fault.
Yes, and ready for you to make a mistake.
They look for fault in everybody. They look for fault. When they do their so-called research on somebody, they don't look for the value in any of us. Like I said, because if somebody hate themselves, they're going to see their sisters like they see themselves, and they're going to look for fault. They're not going to see the value in you. They're not going to see the value in me. They're going to look for fault in you. Anything that breaks you down, look for fault in you. That's what they're going to do, bro.
You know what they say, brother? Oh, what day was that? You got the timeline? Like, I just gave you some information. You go look it up now. That's how I was taught up and raised with knowledge. Somebody give you the jewel. You go do it and come back and build with us.
Exactly. But when it comes to us interacting with each other, we look for fault. We're looking for a way. We're looking for a way to, like I said, undermine. That's our thing. We like to undermine each other.
Yeah.
And discredit each other. Regardless of who it is, whether it's me or you or somebody that we would consider prominent that's standing on our behalf, somebody's gonna look for fault. I don't care if it's Steve. I don't care if it's Steve Coakley. I don't care if it's the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I don't care if it's Malcolm X. I don't care if it's Martin Luther King. I don't care if it's Dr. Francis Cress Wilson. I don't care who it is. I don't care who it is. Somebody gonna look for fault in them. And regardless of what they've done on behalf of our people, they're gonna focus on that the fault that they. You know, like you got some people say, well, Martin Luther King, he had different women, this and that.
Okay.
Their focal point is that. Their focal point is that, but their focal point is not, okay, the man, you know, after being threatened in Memphis, went back and stood on the balcony because the people needed him there. I ask people that all the time, Hawkeye, when they say Dr. King was this, Dr. King was that, he was Boule, he was this. Dr. King was not rich at all. Harry Belafonte had to give him money to travel, so he was not.
Sammy Davis Jr. Sammy Davis Jr.
Sammy Davis Jr. Tony Bennett. See, they don't study, bro. Had to give the man money to get to where he was.
The brother who went to Europe. That's why he went to Europe.
Exactly.
Oh, Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson and them gave money to the cause. I think the Pops did.
Exactly. They did. He wasn't a rich man. He lived a very modest, meek life. Dr. King did.
Right.
But when his people needed him, he got the funding from other people to get to where he needed to go. And I ask people all the time, if your life was threatened, would you have gone back and stood on the balcony? Would you have gone back and stood on the balcony?
And he was getting death threats for years. You know what made me? You know what made me
told him to come back to Memphis, we gonna kill you. He went back. And he said that the night before he died. He said there's some difficulties ahead. He said it don't matter to me now. And then he said, you know what I'm saying? The mountaintop speech, he talked about him not being here to see it.
Yeah, I remember that. But hold up real quick, enemies public. You have brothers from some brothers now in the community, or the South wasn't like that. Hold up, MLK got assassinated in the South.
Exactly. In Memphis.
Yeah. You know what made me look at the community difference? And you're gonna be like, holy smoke. Because I was already saying to at the end of the year, last year, the end of last year, I was like, yo, I'm tired of when, and I'm gonna just let you know from this is from me. And I don't knock the brother, the artist. I saw the reaction of people when that song came out, F for Pan African. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all niggas, man?
I ain't with silly shit like that. That shit's silly to me, bro.
Yeah. I don't got a song F for Klansman, F for Cracker, it's F for Pan African. I tell people over and over, when Pac got killed, some niggas was celebrating in the streets of New York. My mother beat me. I never forgot to tell the story. My mother beat me, man. Yo, I was so, enemies public. I was so puzzled. Niggas I knew was cheering. Yeah, F that nigga. Caught up with the hype with us with this street shit. Yo, man, he had to go, man. Later for that nigga violating us like that. He know he from the East. He know he from Jersey. He know he from Harlem. How he going? And I'm looking. Yo, my mother beat me like, yo, I never forgot this shit.
Yeah, what's the crazy part about it? Most of Pop homies was from Jersey.
Right. My mother beat me, and I didn't respond because the news came out. So I didn't even check my pager. I called her like, yo. She's like, yeah, everything is good because I just beat you. I said, yo, mom. She said, what? I said, niggas out here celebrating that Pac got killed. She said, what? I said, I kid you not. I let her hear some of that shit. She was like, yo, chill for a minute, get your drink on, bring your ass in the house, man.
But you know what?
She was like,
what the sister Sharon Walker just said, and it's the truth. Dr. King got sold out by those of his constituents that consider him a troublemaker. He got sold out.
Yep.
The Friendlies was the one who was not wearing ties. If you look at that back, the Friendlies was wearing them mock necks. Jesse Jackson and all them cats standing around them, Reverend Kyles and all them.
Yeah.
Those were the Friendlies. They were supposed to take out everybody wearing a tie. It was. Everybody wearing a tie on that balcony was supposed to have been taken out.
They didn't have no ties on, or they did have ties on that day?
The Friendlies didn't have ties on. The ones supposed to be taken out had ties on. Jesse
I got you.
If you look at who was standing on that balcony, who didn't have a tie on, they were supposed to be. Those were the what they'll call a Judas.
Right.
Dr. King couldn't stand Jesse, man.
Yeah, he was there. I didn't know that. And you know what's the funny thing? These are politicians. These are these Negroes in charge.
Though Andrew, what's his name? Andrew, what's the dude name? He became a damn what was his name? Was it Johnson? Andrew Johnson? Andrew something. What was the dude name? Was it Andrew Johnson? He became a senator and ambassador or some shit. All these cats raised to prominence after Dr. King was assassinated.
Yeah. Even Sharpton, even a couple of these pastors, you're right. That's when the mega churches started coming.
They came to prominence, bro. And these cats sold Dr. King out. They considered him a troublemaker. Because he went from Negro business to some real activism. He left the Negro business stuff and was doing some real activism, talking about getting our check.
Yes.
And
Forming up with Malcolm.
And the People's Campaign and all that, Poor People's Campaign, and talking about getting money for our land, talking about they letting all these other people come over here get land, but they don't want to give us. Dr. King was talking like that at the end. I tell people all the time that Dr. 63 Dr. King is not 66 to 68 Dr. King. Different man.
And he was forming with Malcolm. And you're right. So him and Malcolm was getting cool.
Him and Malcolm got cool. Him and Malcolm had got respect for each other, and then he had met with the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. They met.
Yeah.
They met. I got a picture of them two together. I got a picture of Malcolm, not Malcolm, Dr. King, and the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Got a picture of them.
Look at that.
And he started changing his whole entitled direction, and he, had the deacons of defense. He started talking. He went from speaking about nonviolence, and then started speaking about how violence is necessary.
Yeah.
He went from nonviolence to violence is necessary. So he started changing his direction. He started talking about getting our check.
Right. So you know what that means, public? He was seeing that the church was pump faking. They wasn't really trying to make no moves.
That's why he got away from that.
Yep.
He got away from that.
Wow. And then he met up with Rothschilds and all that. He said, yo, we got to get on our business. This church shit ain't business. They ain't respecting it. We got to be businessmen.
He said, we're going to stop eating Wonder Bread. We're going to boycott Wonder Bread. We're going to boycott Coca-Cola. We're going to boycott Pepsi. Yeah. We're going to boycott the buses. We're going to carpool. We're going to just stop messing with everybody who's on this list who is not helping our people. We're not going to mess with. And it started hurting these people. And then he said, when we do come down to DC, we coming for our check.
Right. My mom was at that meeting as a young girl, man. The DC one. Because, my family from my mom's side is in Maryland. My mother was there, man.
Indeed.
She told me that shit.
Crazy dude. That's what's up. That's what's up.
That's what I be looking at. We can't talk. I be like, yo, I don't know what household these niggas coming from, man. Like, where y'all coming from? Because my mother told me she had to beat up white kids going to school. Like, what?
I went to school my whole entire life with 3 white people, and they was all right. One cat was a athlete, and 2 white girls that was in my French class. That's it.
Yeah.
All through school, probably 3.
Wow. Yeah, that's right. Jersey. Yeah. Right. You're right. Wow.
I didn't go to school with white people, white kids.
I had only a few in my school. You're right. My high school was like 80% us, 80% black, 85. Yeah. So I'm with you on that. You're right. Look how many of us look how many people we had. We done killed so many of us off in the 90s and late 80s with this crack shit. Look at that. And went to jail. You're right. We was overpopulating the cities, man. We was deep.
We was real deep. We was really, really deep, bro. We didn't, like I said, and I can remember. I remember them because it wasn't that many.
Right. And their neighborhoods were small. They had small areas.
Like I said, I'm in a small city in New Jersey. Small city, exit 9 on the turnpike, bro. Like 25 miles south of New York. You can see New York from the city, but it's not that far. I don't live that far from New York, but not a big city. 60,000 people.
Wow. Okay.
But it's a major city. Put it that way. Because because it's on the Northeast corridor. It's the Johnson & Johnson headquarters, Rutgers, and all that. State University. All that shit is right in that one city.
Johnson & Johnson was our business until he sold it and they went corporate. But that was a black-owned business.
Johnson & Johnson, the headquarters is in my city.
Yeah, people don't even know. That's another thing.
So is Squib. Both of the two of the biggest pharmaceutical companies is in one city.
Right. And we don't even talk about this is another thing that's ill. Like this is what the community should be talking about. The businesses we had, the businesses that are here now today that were created by us, but they might be different now because of corporations, stockholders, and things. Like there's so much information that could be talked about that needs to be talked about for the youth that's more important than a flat power, right? A flat earth, I mean, or a lot of this mumbo jumbo from the 1800s.
Yeah,
we got companies right now that were created by us. That are, look at Jack Daniels. A lot of us didn't know Jack Daniels was us.
That's absolutely. That's the name, brother. Hawkeye, Sharon Walker, Andrew Young.
Andrew Young, yeah, okay.
That he's one of the ones who he rose to prominence. Jesse Jackson rose to prominence. They straight up, people can say what they want. They sold King out.
Yeah, they did.
They sold him
because
out.
if you didn't, you're definitely gonna pick it up. And even if you're scared, you're gonna roll different. You got bodyguards now. You moving different.
And I want to have this conversation. I want to have this conversation with you. I'm gonna set it up, brother. Whose accomplishments and greatness are myths? Ours or Caucasians? I need to have that conversation.
Yeah, we could do that. Set up a day. I'm down. Let me know. We in it. And then when we get on, matter of fact,
I want to have that conversation because it need to be had. That type of conversation, because our people,
our greatest,
we don't know about the patents and the inventions that were stolen from our people. We need to some of our people need to understand and know that a lot of the patents and a lot of the inventions that our people invented that was actually stolen from our people.
Right. I used to work for Mount Sinai. Right. Yo, you so right, brother. Because I used to work for Mount Sinai. And when I first started, the lady knew I was educated because she saw a book I was reading. So she put me to the side. Don't you know she had like an invention? She had a list of most of the inventions we did. She goes, that's why I love your people, man. She goes, the world don't know. And this was a Jewish lady, man, old. She goes, we're not racist in our family. She goes, look at all this shit.
But it's a certain class of Jewish people who are not like the rest.
Right. And that's what she was letting me know.
Keep it real. They keep it real. They're not them
personally.
There's a certain class of them, bro. There's a certain class of them that keep it real.
Right. And she hired me personally. So it wasn't like she was already old, hired me. But the lady was like 70. She was old to the point where she didn't want to retire because she knew if she retired, that day would come. So when she retired, man, a couple of weeks after the lady passed away, that lady was so nice, because she saw me reading and she knew what I was on a little bit. And then she was like, to let me know, the list that she had, I knew a lot of it. But the list of the inventions that she had, man, I was like, holy shit, this ain't the truth.
Yeah,
we created the elevator, the radiator,
the air conditioner, the refrigerator. A sister, a black woman, created the surveillance system.
Yes.
And
a cell phone.
The multiple cameras and all that stuff. A woman created that. A black woman created that. I didn't know that till probably like 5 years ago. I'm like, what? Because I went to a seminar that because that's what I do. For us on the side, I do like information technology, and they was given a history on who created the surveillance system. I'm like, what? A sister created this? I was like, damn.
Yeah. Yo, we created the cartridge for the video game. A brother created that shit, man.
Exactly.
Our people created a lot of shit, and these people don't know it. Like you said, they don't know the history.
What I'm getting with this, brother Hawkeye, is that a great people don't have to steal. All they have to do, they don't have to cheat, they don't have to steal, they don't have to be cutthroat. If you're great, all you have to do is be great. So that's why I asked that question. Whose accomplishments and greatness is a myth, ours or theirs? That comes now. I want to have the conversation in a later date.
We're gonna do it later. You're right, and I'm gonna cover some information about these inventions and all that. We're gonna do it right. Yeah, I'm down for that one. That's a good one. Cause you write so many. People just want to be stuck on the Patterson car. Yeah, that was one. We even had something to do with the camera. Like people better get it together, man.
Brother, the first successful heart surgery was done by a brother.
Yeah, and Most Def played that, and that was done over there in a college in Maryland. What was that called?
Bruh,
the hospital over there in Maryland.
You know how much I love peanut butter and jelly.
We created peanut butter.
Peanut butter, bro.
Right. We created peanut butter. We created the factory.
We
created a factory.
The traffic light, the walkie-talkie, bro.
Right. Walkie-talkie, traffic light. I think we did creative plumbing too. I gotta look at it.
Modern day plumbing. Yes.
Yeah, we did that. Right. Exactly.
So many.
They didn't have none of that shit like that, bro.
So many patents, bro, that were stolen from our people. So many. And I know you're gonna do your due diligence, and I'm gonna do mine.
Right. We did something with the railroad. I think we created the shit with the railroad so it don't overheat. Because remember the trains used to overheat. We did that too.
That's where the term the real McCoy came from. Because they tried to copy it, and people used to ask, "Is this the real McCoy?"
Right.
That's
See,
where the term came from. They made when they stopped using coal and they started using the device that keep it from overheating. Somebody tried to copy it, and people wanted the real McCoy. That's where the term the real McCoy came from.
Right. And look, Sharon Walker just said she learned a sister created and designed the early design of the Ford Mustang. Yeah, I believe that.
I mean, I can't deny that. Can't deny that.
Right. When Cadillac was hot, remember what they had the pickup truck Jeeps and all that? That was a brother that created all them Cadillacs, man.
Right. And that it was
when Cadillac had that run in the early 2000s.
And a brother who actually the brother designed that Chrysler 300 too. That was the one that was looking like a Bentley.
Yeah,
it's a brother.
A brother created that.
Yep, a brother.
We did the cell phone. A sister created the cell phone and the programming. And keep it fair, keep it 100. A Nigerian created the internet.
Yep. But it was stolen by you know who.
Yeah, Bill Gates, good old Billy. And the rest of them.
I want to end this right now, brother, before the 3-hour mark.
It's 11 o'clock, yes, sir.
Yeah, because brother got to get up, and
yeah, of course.
I appreciate you coming through, brother, and you know what I told you, bro. As per our conversation, whenever you see me live, brother, just ask for it. You got it.
All right, definitely, brother. Appreciate you too, Enemies Public. I'm gonna start doing some research. I'll let you know how much I got. We can do this build. Let's try to do it nice and bring a little crowd over here. We're gonna school them, man. It's time. You're right. It's time for something, bro. We're gonna do some builds. Peace and salute to everyone in the chat. Y'all have a good one. Enjoy y'all weekends. You too, Enemies Public. I'll see you in a few days on here. Well, I'm getting ready to start tomorrow morning with the research because I already got a lot of that shit. I got books, so I'm definitely gonna be getting that on. Enjoy your day tomorrow, and I'll see you soon, good bro.
I appreciate it, brother. Salute to you, bro. Thanks for coming through, bro. I know you're gonna do your due diligence, man. We just gonna be a powerful one, bro.
Definitely, brother. Have a good one.
You do the same,
brother. Peace. Thank you. Peace.
Before I go, I want to thank my brother again, Hawkeye, the sister Sharon Walker, Voodoo Child.
Yo, you see that?
God, I want to thank the true daughter. I want to thank Lady Shea Butter, my brother Talk Your Talk Media, my brother and comrade Talk Your Talk Media. I want to thank you all for tapping in, coming through, and joining your brother this evening. Until next time, this is your brother Nasir, and this is the Enemy's Public. Like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment in the comment section. Make sure you like the video if you haven't. Share and subscribe. Peace.